Hey everybody, what's going on? Did that sound enthusiastic enough? I mean to like blast anybody's ears out or anything like that. But hey, it's Friday and I'm excited.
Yeah, the lights look okay, huh?
I guess so. I didn't touch them, so.
Yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, I guess
that shit's still on back there.
Looks kind of.
Those ones like turn themselves off.
Yeah,
randomly.
Yeah. This is the new controls for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see what we got going. There.
Woo.
That looks better.
Okay, well I didn't do that. I didn't
looks
do nothing.
Better. So with the brightness action.
Need some backlighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the magenta.
So, tonight we're not going out, so we're gonna sit here and drink with y'all.
Yay, we don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I like going somewhere, but sometimes it's like kind of a hassle, you know.
Yeah. Damn, you're dead center in the screen, John. Look at you're covering up the damn logo.
I'm not. I'm right there. I'm to the side like always.
Yeah, same place.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So it
what
moves
do
you this way,
stop.
and then it moves you this way. There you go.
I'm not.
That's where you were.
I'm not usually over
That's
that
where you
far.
were. That's where you
I'm
were.
not usually over that far because then I hit.
Usually I can see the down.
that.
Usually I can see the logo.
Whatever,
in the
Tom.
middle. Okay.
I know usually my knee isn't
that
bumping into that, but okay.
Okay.
If you want my knee to bump into that all night,
No,
then that's fine. Well, of course you don't care. It's not your knee.
Okay.
And it's gonna make the computer shake too.
Yeah. Got the car back.
Yeah. This is a whole saga. The Mercury Marquis saga.
Yeah, got the car back. Got the car back. It's not all fixed. It's running, but it's not finished. We're gonna take it back
Monday
and do the rest of it. I got the fuel pump in there good. It was right. I guess I don't know what happened. I guess I forgot to disconnect the battery. It's probably what it was. Blew some relays in there. Blew a little relay and it cut power to the pump. So he just found out that he put the relay back in there and it fired right up. The thing is though, is that it's registering as a full tank. No, that bitch was empty. So the float isn't right. The sending unit isn't right in there. And that last time I installed that pump, I just kind of threw it in there. I wasn't real careful about it because I knew I was just going to button it up and have it towed away. And he didn't drop the tank to put that fuel tank pressure sensor on there yet. But that's going to be like another $300 to drop that tank. He'll work it out. So next week I'm going to drop it back off. Thing is, I got this car with a half a tank of fuel in it, and can't tell you how much.
You can't tell how much gas is in there until it's fixed on Monday.
Until it's fixed.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're gonna be going to like Timbuktu or anything like that. I mean, we might just go to a restaurant tomorrow.
Yeah, I know we go to a restaurant. Maybe we might go to the club tomorrow or something if you wanted to go to what you call it.
But that's not that.
And that's not that much. We can do it on a half a tank.
Like we know we're not gonna run out of gas.
But the way it is now, you can't even tell if the low fuel light comes on.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of guessing, and I don't want to give this dude fucking a half a tank of fuel to drop. And fucking loosen that gas tank, and that bitch will fucking be 900 pounds.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what's awkward about it is that to drop the fuel tank, obviously it doesn't have to be empty, but
you want it as empty as possible.
You want it as empty as possible, and now we don't know how much is in there.
Yeah.
So, because it's not working right.
Yeah. The whole exercise didn't cost anywhere near as much as I thought. I thought it was with towing and repair of everything in there. I thought it was going to be about $1,200. It wasn't. It was $600.
Yeah, $600-700. Yeah, like he called, like Tom went out on his motorcycle because he's like, oh, well, he called the car shop this morning and they were like, yeah, we're really behind and we don't know if we're going to be able to get to it. Because we said, look, there's no rush. We weren't really planning on going anyplace. And everything. So Tom's like, well, I'm going to go out for a ride on my motorcycle because he hadn't been out for a couple weeks. He's been working on the car and, shit like that. So, of course, like 45 minutes after he left, the car place called me.
Yeah, say, hey, it's running, man.
It's like, hey, we fixed it. And I was just like, what? And he was like, yeah, it was just these two relays. It's like, we didn't do the thing. We didn't drop the tank or anything like that. So that sensor is still broken. But you don't need that for the car to run. Yeah. He's like, so we got the car running and everything. And he told me, he's like, it was only $317. And I was like, oh, shit. And then he's like, and then he takes on a tone of voice like he's going to tell me somebody died or something. Then he's like, well, if he wants the thing with, to replace the sensor and drop the tank and everything, that's going to be another $358. And I was like, oh, is that all? I was because, like I said, I was thinking that it was going to be. I thought he was going to say, oh, it's like another $1,000 because we were thinking it was going to be like $1,200.
I thought the whole thing was about 12, yeah.
But no, it's like maybe $700, $650, $700.
Because the pump alone
for everything, and that was
an entire pump with sending unit and everything if it's factory, it's about 500 just for that pump. So yeah, it'd have been about 1,000 for labor and everything, to drop tank and everything. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll run some fuel out of it and pull it again and see if I can get it to get a reading off of it.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? I might be able to fix the sending unit. We'll see.
I saw while we were in the place, because I obviously, we had to go down there to pick the car up, and they had a sign in the office. They charge $90 an hour.
Yeah,
that's how much.
It doesn't matter though, because the tank has to drop to put the fucking sensor, fuel tank pressure sensor in the top of the tank, and you can't get to that without dropping the tank.
Yeah.
But I got to put it on there. If not, it's gonna throw a code.
Yeah.
And it threw another code already. And it threw that same one, random misfire. And fuel pressure is good. It's fucking running well. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's those fucking discount, what do you call them? Coils. I got those off of Amazon. It's not Motorcraft. Maybe I ought to fucking pull those things and buy a set of Motorcraft fucking coils. Because Motorcraft, a whole set of coils for a V8, it's going to be about $80-$90. The ones I got off of Amazon were generic ones for about $50-$60. They're not branded. They're just like Amazon brand. But when they arrived though, they felt just like a Motorcraft. You know what I mean? They felt good quality. And it was as heavy as the other ones. So I don't know. Maybe those coils are kind of iffy.
Could be.
I don't know, but I'm fucking getting sick of that damn fucking misfire code. And it just says it's a random misfire. So it can't even tell you what cylinder it is because it's random. It's not often enough. And it threw it when I really fucking got hard on it. I took it up to about 90 miles an hour.
That sounded dirty, Tom.
Whoa, yeah. Well, you put it under stress, see if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, I know. That's what you meant. But
want to make sure it's getting enough fuel. It's getting plenty of fuel. But it reported back that there was a misfire somewhere in there. It's got to be an error, though. It's running too smooth.
Allison's talking about the earthquake they had. Yeah, I heard about that. I saw on Facebook, like all my Facebook friends in the New York and New Jersey area, they had it wasn't massive, but I think it was 4.8 or 5 or something like that earthquakes. So they were all like, what the fuck? Because usually you don't have earthquakes, American Military 100 said, great job on Wednesday's main episode of Randall Woodfield. Thank you very much. You forgot to mention how that arrogant bastard submitted his body shots to Playgirl. That's right. I did forget to mention that. God damn it. I can't. And I meant to write that in my notes too. And then I totally forgot about it. Yeah. And I think that I don't know if they ever published the shots, but they did get back to him and say, oh, we're going to do like a whole issue about, with football players. You know what I mean? I think they were published actually. So I'm sure they're online somewhere. John Smith said, loving the background setup, has a New Orleans vampire room and a Japanese love hotel vibe.
Yeah.
And it said an oddly specific reference, I know. It is. Thank you. I picked those curtains out myself. I don't know. I just kind of like the red, like the tacky, like Victorian whorehouse vibe. You know what I mean? Because this is my office, Yeah. So we're talking about the earthquake. Man, I got way behind.
Yeah, I was trying to catch up.
Yeah, I was too. But yeah, I did hear about the earthquake. That is pretty crazy. I don't think I've ever experienced an earthquake ever.
You never been in an earthquake?
I don't think so. We don't have them here. Well, no. I know you have. You're from California, but
been in several of them.
Now I've been through lots and lots of hurricanes. Lots of hurricanes.
They happen and they didn't. Usually they're over so fast you just laugh at it.
I mean, if you don't know what it is, I can see how it.
Yeah, it kind of surprises you at first. You're like, what the fuck?
Because you're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? And then it's gone. And you're like, oh,
right.
Shit. You see that?
Right.
Nothing happens, though, usually. Depends on where you are.
Other than, like, you breaking your shit. Although I would think that people that lived in high earthquake-prone areas would, like, know to glue all their shit down.
No.
Because I certainly would.
No, it doesn't glue your shit
I would glue breakable shit down.
It happens every just now and then. And
I know,
it's usually
but
not
still.
that bad. The worst I've ever seen is like security camera footage from Japan. It was like where that fucking earthquake just fucking rocking the whole damn building, and it goes on for a long time. People screaming and stuff falling over.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
American Military also said maybe Tom could solicit Playgirl as a new side hustle. That totally sounds like something you would do.
I don't even think that exists anymore.
Well, I think they still have do they still have online? I would think they still have online.
I don't think magazines exist.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Print magazines still absolutely exist. But I kind of feel like a lot of magazines have just gone online only.
Yeah.
I don't know if Playgirl is one of those. The only time I ever bought a Playgirl was like as a gag for a girlfriend of mine.
I think it's mostly a gag.
It's a gag, or it's gay men buying it.
I don't even think they buy it.
Well, back in the day when it came out. Because I think initially when they first started, like, doing Playgirl, they're like, oh, we want something, because they have Playboy for straight men. So it's like, now we'll have Playgirl for straight women. And, like, straight women were like, we don't want that.
Yeah, it didn't sell.
We're not going to... Why would we buy that?
It didn't sell.
They didn't really read the room. It was mostly gay men buying it. Or people buying it as gags, like, for bachelorette parties and stuff. That was the only time
Jack Torrance reading it.
Yeah, that's right, in The Shining.
Yeah, in The Shining, he's reading
that was a nice little joke they put in there. Well, it wasn't a joke. I think it was kind of like a reference to... I mean, shit, man. So much ink has been spilled over that. Like, why he was reading a Playgirl.
Well, they had articles.
That's what they always say about Playboy, too.
Yeah.
Just reading it for the articles.
Actually, the articles were probably more
they were, actually.
Than
I mean, the thing about it is that Playboy... Yes, I know it's like a cliche, or was back then, to say, oh, I just read it for the articles. Honey, I'm not looking at the titties. But ironically, a lot of really good writers did write articles in there. There was like a lot of really good journalism and a lot of really good fiction and stuff in there.
During my time, you didn't buy Playboy for the fucking beating it material. You bought something like Club International, like that. It was just jam packed. There was no articles at all.
That's what I mean. I kind of feel like Playboy was what you bought if you wanted to look at titties, but you also wanted plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Like, if you just wanted to go straight for the beat-off material, then you would buy, like, the really trashy shit that was just... Even something like Hustler was more oriented toward the photos and not articles.
There wasn't as much... There was only a little bit more in that than there was in Playboy. I'm talking about back in the 70s and the 80s. It was just a harder version of Playboy. It wasn't... I wouldn't call it porn. Yeah. They actually...
No.
They were porn.
Yeah.
VHS fucking destroyed all that. Then the internet came and all that shit disappeared.
And it's like, why do you even need that anymore?
Yeah.
Brent Air says, funny story about Playgirl and Peter Steele from Typo Negative. He did a pictorial thinking it was for chicks to look at. His band told him after he did it that it was for gay men. LOL. I thought everybody knew that Playgirl was... Straight women don't buy that kind of shit.
No. You can't sell porn to straight girls.
Nah. I mean, I'm sure some buy it, but it's a tiny percentage.
And it'll probably be lesbian porn.
Yeah, I kind of feel like. Now, women will buy written erotica all day long.
Yeah.
That's the biggest market for that.
I've actually seen, like, data that suggests that when straight women buy porn, it's usually lesbian porn. Or it's gay porn between dudes. They'll buy that too. But they won't buy it. They won't. They don't
buy hetero porn, not usually.
Mm.
And I can see why. It's not. That's not interesting to us.
Well, hetero porn, the way it's shot, the woman is the focus. You never even see the dude's face. He's just a stunt dick jumping in.
And the thing about it is that a lot of the situations and a lot of the positioning and stuff like that is not that it's male oriented.
Yeah, they're oriented towards the guys. The guy's visual to stimulate the guy's visual process.
Right. Which is not really something that women
don't
find interesting.
They don't respond the same way.
Not usually.
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, like I said, it's there's some straight women that buy it that like hetero porn and stuff like that, but even just like I don't know, even like when we look at porn and stuff like that, like a lot of the straight stuff is just like
they have some female directors that shoot stuff that evidently women like a little bit more, but they still don't buy it. They're not buying it.
Yeah. Guys like I said, women will buy erotica.
Yeah.
Like written erotica. Because I like that. I got whole books of it. Mm-hmm. I like that kind of shit. But,
why do you think all those Harlequin novels fucking were everywhere?
Well, now I don't like...
Why do you think your grandma had Harlequin novels stacked up to the goddamn ceiling?
That's straight up porn right there.
That's fucking porn.
Although I don't really like
those... It's deniable porn.
I don't really like those romance novels.
Yeah.
If you're going to write erotica, write fucking erotica. Don't pretend it's a romance novel. Yeah. You know what I mean? I kind of like you being honest about it.
Old lady needed plausible deniability.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah. So I kind of feel like if you're going to go the romance novel route, I mean, because some of them are pretty smutty. You know what I mean? But if you're going to go like the erotica route, just have it be erotica. It doesn't have to be like a romance novel or anything like that. You don't have to have, here's the cowboy coming to the... I don't, we don't need all of that.
Women are not visually oriented. They're more like fucking...
Not generally,
They're usually kind of like idea oriented.
We like to imagine shit. I like to imagine the situation, and I don't even give a shit. To be honest, like when you think about something, it's like I don't even think about a specific person, or it's just a person, like a stand-in.
That's the same thing as funny as here's the creepy shit. If you look at dudes like BTK, they were that way too, though. I think they weren't so.
Are you saying that I'm a serial killer?
I think a lot of serial killers almost kind of have female facets to the fucking what they're doing, because they're getting off on a situation like being tied up or being abducted or being. Then it's almost like a soap opera shit.
You know then why aren't more women serial killers then? If that was the case,
I don't know. They don't have testosterone
because they're not.
They're not fucking sexually aggressive in that way towards men. They might be towards other women, because female serial killers would go after women, the ones that they had, but they were usually with a dude when they were doing that.
Yeah, generally.
So, but there's just something about some of those serial killers have kind of like female qualities into what they're doing.
I guess I never really thought of it that way.
They're getting off on the situation of what they're doing, stalking them, watching them.
I don't stalk people.
No. It's not visual, it's fucking
right. It's imaginative.
It's imagination and fantasy. Yeah. The average guy doesn't really have that. He's not really fantasizing. He's just responding to what he's seeing.
Right, I guess.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. It's just...
Yeah, but a fucking serial killer will fucking think about that shit for fucking months before he goes out and does it, and fucking imagines it going down all these different ways and shit. And that's like reading of his own version of a damn...
But see, that's like pathological, though, because even though most women are like, yeah, they like to imagine scenarios or something, like, they don't obsess over it, you know?
No, but a guy will.
Yeah.
They're a lot more driven.
Yeah.
The sex drive is a lot more active, you know what I mean? It's like you're being fucking kind of... Those particular dudes are being driven to do the shit. But I just think it's funny that it's fantasy prone shit. And average dudes, whether they're straight or gay or not, that fantasy prone. They just see something and they respond to it and they go, yeah, I'm gonna fuck that. And then they get fired up and they go, hey, yeah, I like what she's wearing. Hell yeah, you know what I mean? It's like something from outside. You're responding to outside stimulus. You're not really thinking about it. You're also not really thinking about the situation. If you read women's smut, man, it's all about the situation, about, you know, getting it on with your husband's fucking stepbrother underneath the Christmas tree on Christmas after the presents got handed out. Just all kinds of stupid shit like that, you know. A dude would never even think about that. It would never occur to us. Guy would just be like, well, how big are her titties? What shape is that ass? You know, what'd she say? You know, just shit like that. You know, it's not really situational. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, for us, it kind of has to be situational. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I think because
there has to be like a whole...
Sex itself for women is a totally different experience.
It is a totally different experience. Right. You have to have like a whole thing going on. You can't just be... I would it would never occur to me in a million years to be like, hey, nice butt, I'm gonna fuck that dude. It's like that would never...
Yeah, no.
That's
just something a dude...
That is an alien...
It's totally
concept. That's an alien concept.
It's giving off fucking signals, man.
I don't notice, and I know some women do notice dudes' butts and stuff like that. I honestly do not notice dudes' butts.
It's ridiculous.
At all. Like, I know some women do. Like, because I have seen women go be like, ooh, look at the butt, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a butt, okay.
Yeah.
We've all got one. Unless you had it cut off in the war.
They do respond to how guys look. I just don't think...
Yeah, they do, but it's not the same.
I don't think it's as conscious with them. I don't think they realize it as much.
That's true. And like I said, it's not really the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not the same dynamic. Camp Guy said, my grandmother used to watch Bob Barker and The Price is Right. I think she had an old lady crush on Bob. Yeah. I think all old ladies had a crush on Bob Barker.
Yeah.
Because he was just he would get like these, you know, not to be uncharitable, but like not super good looking like ladies up there, like old ladies that were kind of hefty or whatever, and then he would be super nice to them and like flirty and stuff like that, and they were just eating that shit up. And I think like all these ladies were sitting at home like in their curlers and flippers and stuff, and they were just loving that shit, being like, yeah, I wish Bob Barker would talk like that to me.
Yeah, if you're from
Bob Barker.
she's talking about a game show host that they had here in the United States.
I know, so sorry. Sometimes I forget that you guys are not...
Right.
That people are not from the same country, and also that people aren't as old as we are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Bob Barker. What was it? What was the name of that game? Price is Right.
Price is Right.
Price is Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a fun game. You could watch it.
I used to watch it with my grandma.
People had to guess the prices on things. They'd win.
I would be so bad at that.
They were picking people out of the audience. It was wild. It was a wild show, and everybody had to be in some kind of costume.
No, that was Let's Make a Deal.
Let's Make a Deal. Which was similar to that.
It was kind of similar. Yeah. That was the one where you had to pick like what was behind the door, and then sometimes it would be a goat or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
There's all kinds
that
of
was a long time ago.
And then he'd come back and if you want to put that up for trade, we'll give you what's underneath here. If you give you $100 and just these weird fucking deals, like, okay, yeah, we'll do that.
It's like, yeah, I'll give you $100 if you have a boiled egg in your purse.
Yeah, shit like that.
So people would bring purses full of like just random ass
shit.
weird shit.
Yeah.
Like just in case Monty Hall asked him. But that's Let's Make a Deal. Price is Right was you would have to guess the prices of shit to get because they'd call. What was it? 4 people or 5 people?
Something like that.
I think it was 4 or 5 people, and they would call them to the front, and then they'd be like, "Guess the price of this stove or whatever the fuck." Yeah. And then like whoever got the closest, you got to come up on stage, and then you'd play. Then they had a bunch of different games.
Yeah, and Bob Barker was a very handsome old gentleman. He was like a mummy. He was mummified last time I saw him.
He's a little gropey.
He must have been about
gropey.
80, but he was very handsome. For his age, and the old ladies fucking liked him. He was just in a suit, and he kind of had a stately fucking presence to him. He's kind of like a politician or something, either a politician or a fucking kind of like a televangelist too. He kind of had a little bit of that vibe going for him. But the old ladies liked him.
Yeah,
the ladies loved that dude. They liked Pat Sajak though too from fucking.
Pat Sajak always seemed like such a sleaze to me.
They like Pat Sajak. He's from the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, I know.
They liked him.
He just seemed so sleazy.
Yeah.
He just had like I don't know what it was. Not as sleazy as Richard Dawson.
Yeah.
From Family Feud.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Who was also in The Running Man.
Yeah, he was British, wasn't he?
No.
I thought he was British. No, he was just from California, guys. Yeah.
I mean, he was perfect in The Running Man because he leaned into the sleaze. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, okay, I see what you're doing, movie.
His fucking thing though, that was his calling card, was to be a slime ball.
Yeah.
To grope your wife right in front of you while he's.
Yeah, he's like, what are you gonna do, bitch? You're on TV.
He's on TV and he's everybody's trying to win money.
And the 80s.
Yeah, he wouldn't really grope him. He just put his arm around him and try to sweet talk him and trying to get them to fucking.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
What are you gonna do? It's
like, Here was. And
she's like, "Are you touching my nipple right now?"
He get real close to her face like he's gonna kiss her. And here's the thing, though. That was old Hollywood. That dude was loaded most of the time. You could tell he
big time.
Fucking drunk. He was drunk off his ass, running the fucking game show, having fun. Richard Dawson. They'd probably record 5 or 6 of those episodes a day. I don't think they were live, if I remember correctly. I don't think they did it daily. They probably did them all in a couple of days, the whole week.
Yeah, I imagine they did a certain number every week.
Because he'd seem sober in some of them, and other ones he'd just say, "Man, he's fucking loaded. Look at his eyes."
Because as the day went on, he was
he's
just
drinking while he's working. Yeah,
much like this show.
Yeah,
like we're 3-4 hours in.
Yeah,
and
it didn't matter though.
We don't know what we're talking about anymore.
That television or that era, it didn't matter if you were loaded, because television was a party anyway. Especially the game shows, they were partying, and they had their own fans. So the host and people that worked on like the fucking Hollywood Squares, they were fucking loaded, man.
I used to love Hollywood Squares, so fun.
Crazy, yeah, playing Hollywood Squares.
I just like to see who was showing up, and I'd like all the catty fucking remarks they were making. Yeah. Especially Paul Lynde. He was the best. Paul Lynde was. Oh, he was so bitchy. He was that fucking awesome. He was awesome.
I've talked about Paul Lynde on several fucking shows.
If
you're foreign or you're young, you know who Paul Lynde was.
He's fucking hilarious.
You can go on YouTube and look at the Hollywood Squares. It has Paul Lynde, or maybe like highlights of Paul Lynde. But it doesn't really. It's probably not the same because you'd watch that show on a regular basis in the morning, and you got to know all those people. So they were like television personalities, and they'd kind of grow on you, and they would just say shit. Paul Lynde was fucking probably the spiciest fucking flaming gay dude of all fucking times. He was fucking hilarious, and he was very intelligent, and they'd always have him in the center square. Once he was like one of the most popular ones.
He's like the Oscar Wilde of game shows.
He was fucking hilarious, and he had an interesting life. That guy, weird shit happened to him. He brought some young dude back from the club, and they were all fucking high and loaded, and his fucking dude fucking went out on his balcony and fell to his death like fucking 15 floors.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
No, I mean, yeah, he didn't push him or nothing. He just
dude climbed out on the balcony and was fucking around. Hey, shoo, slipped.
Oh God, I would never get over that.
Yeah, Paul Lind was fucking hilarious in that shit.
He was
openly drinking.
Yeah.
You could see whenever they go, he'd have the glass in his hand and he'd put it down and shit.
Put it in down on the square.
Yeah. You could tell how long he'd been at work.
Phyllis Diller was great on that.
Phyllis Diller was great.
I used to really like Phyllis. I always liked Phyllis Diller.
Yeah.
She was on some Night Gallery episode.
Who was the other old queen in the suit with the glasses and fucking and that shit?
What was his Charles name? Nelson Riley.
Charles Nelson Riley. You knew exactly who I was talking about. He was fucking funny too, man.
I'm old too, baby. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That was the era of fucking these old.
I liked him too. He wasn't as funny as Paul Lind, but he was still pretty funny.
Paul Lind wasn't even a comic, really. He was just I think he was an actor, wasn't he? That just would get. I think he was originally an actor. But he became a television personality just for his shenanigans. Yeah, he was just.
I don't even know what he did before that. Well, I know that he did. I know that he did. You remember the? I don't know if you saw this, but the animated adaptation of Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
He did the voice for Templeton, the rat, which was fucking great. So he sang and everything like that. So he was just one of those like old. Because I feel like in the 60s and 70s, you had these people that were like just entertainers.
Yeah, they're like famous for being famous.
Kinda like they could do
stuff,
but yeah, like so a lot of them could sing and dance, and like they'd be in movies, they'd be on TV, they could just like do everything. So I feel like he was that, and they could be funny or what or serious or whatever. Yeah, so I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
because they were just kind of like I don't want to say jack of all trades, but they could kind of do everything as far as show business.
They mostly worked on daytime television.
Yeah,
doing live stuff out of Hollywood and recorded stuff. They were kind of a throwback to vaudeville.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah. That they were just kind of like I said, they were multi-talented. You know what I mean? Like they could do musicals, they could do, because like I said, they could sing, they could dance, they could act, they could be funny. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. They were charismatic. Like they could be their own selves, and it was funny. So you know what I mean?
Joan Rivers was one of them.
Oh yeah, she was super funny too.
Yeah.
Like, she was, like, super mean, but, like, all this stuff... Like,
funny, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like that... Well, see, I kind of feel like there's kind of... I don't follow a lot of comedians now, but I used to back in the day. And I kind of feel like, up until probably, like, the 90s or early 2000s. So I kind of feel like there's kind of a thing where... There's some comedians that think, oh, well, all you have to do is just be mean and, like, say mean shit about people, and it's funny. But it's like, it's not always. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of comedians that said a bunch of mean shit about people, but the reason that they got away with it was because it was also funny or it was insightful in some way or something. Yeah. Like, if you're just up there, like, abusing people, that's not really funny, you know?
Yeah.
But I do kind of feel like there's some...
Oracle said that he did, Paul Lind did Bye Bye Birdie. And
I forgot I watched that in high school.
And he was also always guesting on Bewitched, remember?
That's right. Oh my God, we need to like rewatch Bewitched.
Yeah, Bewitched was a fucking great series, man. All her uncles and cousins and shit would show up. They were all warlocks or witches, and all the warlocks were fucking gay. Except maybe Dr. Bombay wasn't.
I love that there was a whole like mini trend for these sitcoms essentially that were just kind of like, we're just gonna have monsters and then like a bunch of squares like reacting scandalously to them. It's like there's something very funny, like you know, obviously Munsters, Addams Family, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, Bewitched is kind of like that too, because she's a witch. Her whole family are witches and wizards and warlocks and whatever. And then it's like, and the humor comes from her very, very straight-laced the husband and like everybody else like reacting with horror. You know what I mean? It's like, that's very funny to me.
Yeah, all the witches tend to
because it kind of reflects my life a little bit.
all her witches, all her witch relatives were in some way kind of dangerous females. Either they were like sexually aggressive, like fuck. What was her name? Sabrina was her name. Wasn't that her sister's name?
I think
it was Sabrina. Maybe.
Shit, I can't remember now. It's been so long since I've
it was Elizabeth Montgomery just dressed up as somebody else.
That's right.
Yeah, as like a fucking 60s swinging chick, And then and Dora, her mom, who was dangerous. She didn't like you. She'd fuck you up. And she didn't like Darren. Couldn't even say his name. Then they had Aunt Esmeralda, who was dangerous because she would fuck up everything. She was kind of she was very elderly and kind of senile a little bit. And she'd fuck up her spells and, fuck you up that way. Dr. Bombay, his ass would just fucking show up and try to... He wasn't related to her, though. That was the family doctor. The family witch doctor. He's fucking funny.
You're making me want to rewatch the whole series.
Dr. Bombay.
We need to find that somewhere.
Yeah.
It's been at least 30 years since I've seen that
Uncle
series.
Arthur. Was that Paul Lynde? No.
Shit. No, like I said, why are you asking me?
I don't think Uncle Arthur was her gay uncle. He was a warlock.
We've all got one.
Yeah. I don't think it was Paul Lynde, though.
John Smith said, my mother once told me her ideal man was Brian Dennehy. Make of that what you will. He's all right. I can see that. He seems like a nice, reliable, kind of laid back, but also kind of, he'll get shit done if it needs to get done. You know what I mean? Because he always plays a cop. You know what I mean? I feel like he always plays a cop.
Okay, Serena was supposed to be her cousin. Oracle said Serena was her cousin, not her sister, right?
That's right. He'll say, I can't remember.
Although the Sabrina character, Elizabeth Montgomery, was really attractive as Sabrina.
Tom loves Elizabeth Montgomery. You guys don't even know.
Yeah, Elizabeth Montgomery and Barbara Eden, those two.
Yeah, those were like his two.
Yeah, I think Barbara Eden was cuter, but they were both pretty women of their time, but very attractive.
I should show you the Night Gallery episode that I watched the other day was it Night Gallery or Thriller? Because I've been doing both of those series over on my other channel. And there was a great episode on there, and it was Elizabeth Montgomery, and I want to say it was Bob Crane from Hogan's Heroes. The guy that got murdered. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Tom Poston. It was Tom Poston from the Bob Newhart show. And those two... I had never seen him, as a young person before, because he was always older. Because I saw Bob Newhart, but he was older then. So, I saw... And they were fantastic. I was like, why didn't these two get a show together ever? They had great, chemistry with one another. They were just sniping, and it was so great. But, yeah, that was a great episode. I can't remember the name of what it was. But I'd have to go back. I talked about it, on my other channel. Let me see. Oh yeah, Oracle said the Roku channel has a bunch of Bewitched episodes. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I think they have it all on YouTube though, don't they?
Maybe.
You might have to pay for it, but.
Oh, and Oracle said, let's not forget that Elizabeth Montgomery played Lizzie Borden in a TV movie.
Yeah. About
the axe whacking. Yes, she did. I saw that a long time ago. Yeah, Murder Hornet said she was also on Twilight Zone. Yeah, she was in a lot of those. It's funny when you watch all of those old Twilight Zone or Night Gallery or Thriller or anything like that, how many actors you will recognize from that shit.
Those were TV actors.
Yeah.
Those two. They were some of the cutest TV actors, though, of their time. You should have seen them when they were teenagers, too, when they were in their late teens, when they were first starting their, before their careers really took off. Barbara Eden was just super cute. So was Elizabeth Montgomery. But when they cast Barbara Eden as Jeannie and I Dream of Jeannie, that was it, man. That outfit and everything.
Got to see her midriff all the time.
Yeah, they had a problem with the midriff because they had to adjust it so it hit her belly button. So it had a thing that kind of came up, which kind of...
Isn't that a weird thing to
Yeah, it was just something that the censors but you can't see
we can show her stomach, but not her belly button.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
Because that'll remind her that she was born?
Yeah.
that everybody has one?
No, they thought it was too revealing.
Funny.
Thought it was too revealing. It didn't matter though. That little Jeannie costume, she was so stacked. It didn't,
Yeah, it's nobody's looking at the belly button. Trust me.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
Everybody's looking at.
I think she was all natural. I don't think those were implants. I think she just was built.
I don't remember her being super large that I noticed it, but she had a nice size rack for sure.
Yeah. Let me see.
Tom's I have to check for research purposes.
It's been a long time. I'll pull up a photo of her.
I dressed up as her for Halloween when I was how old was I? Maybe 11 or 12 or something like that. My mom made the costume. It was actually pretty awesome. My mom was really good at sewing, which I didn't get that gene. That's for sure. But she made a lot of my Halloween costumes. But yeah, she made me a genie costume. I must have been, I can't remember what year it was. I'd have to ask my mom. She might remember. But she made me the little pants, like out of the purple tulle. She made me the little top. I had a little hat. She did my hair like all up and stuff like that. It looked it looked awesome, I thought. Let me see. Oh, he's found it. He found it.
Yeah.
He found it.
There's Barbara. If you know,
You could. Yeah. What happened?
Message just came. That.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there she was. See if I can get the genie costume. Yeah, it's not a real good angle, but
I love his face in there. Like,
yeah, he's like,
oh, fuck this shit. I'm just too cool for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oracle said, Jenny, you're a graphic artist, so you inherited the designer eye. Duh. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But like I said, I didn't really get the I tried to like learn to work a sewing machine and shit like that, but
look how cute that shot is.
I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah. They don't have, well, that's not that costume, but that's how she was built.
Yeah.
Today, she would be considered kind of a little skinny, I think. But,
well, I don't know. She doesn't look overly skinny. She just looks kind of regular. I mean, regular Hollywood.
Regular for Hollywood at that time.
Right. Which, you know. Which
she's
is skinny, but
she's not super stacked by today's standards.
Like I said, that's what I never got the impression because I was just like, wowza, I wasn't anything like that, but it wasn't anything that stood out. But because like I said, because maybe it's not the same for women because like we have breasts, so it's like we're not just like, ooh, but look, bazongas. We're not like that. Unless they're like super huge or they're like in your face or there's something unusual about them. Yeah, you notice it then. But other than that, you don't notice it because it's just boobs. Like, we've got them too. Like, big deal. You know?
No, she was just known for having a real good figure.
Yeah.
For that time. And, you know, it's a good one. It would be lost today amongst other starlets, though.
I'm just saying that when...
I'm trying to find photographs.
I just never remember, because I said if she had, like, super huge bazongas, like, I would have noticed. Because it would have been unusual, but because she didn't...
That's that.
Yeah, they're just regular.
They're just regular.
They're just regular size.
Yes. That's that costume, and if you were to see that costume today, that you wouldn't even look twice at that. And this is the later costume I think that allowed you to see the belly button because I think
her belly button's sticking out.
Yeah, because I think after a season or so they were like, okay, yeah, fuck it, she can show the belly button because it's fucking stupid, you know.
Like I said, it's a belly button. Everyone's got one, unless they're an alien or they hatched from an egg or something. Everyone's got a fucking belly button. Murder Hornet said Raquel Welch is smoking. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And Clara Bow. Yeah, that's kind of more my speed, honestly. Like, I like all those old, like, 20s style. John Smith said, I always had a crush on Mindy from Mork and Mindy.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't remember. I don't remember.
Pam Dauber.
Pam Dauber.
That's her name, yeah. Allison's laughing at me. Oh, look, bazongas. Like I said, I don't notice them unless there's something unusual. Unless they're, like, fucking as big as beach balls. Obviously, I'm going to notice that. But just, like, if they're just regular size, it doesn't. Like I said, I have them, too, so it's not like...
Yeah, but you...
I don't see them from a dudely point of view, you know?
You're endowed, though.
I know that, but...
Yeah,
I'm just saying that it's...
You're not usual.
I don't notice it on other people. Unless it's, like, really out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Oracle says, before I forget, Jenny, Melanie was really pleased that you liked A Most Malicious Murder. I saw that she commented on the YouTube video, the author of the book, and has been linking to your vid from her socials. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I really did like that book a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. That was the one that I was telling you about Edgar Allan Poe and Lewis Carroll solving the murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, solving murderers. It was more than one murder. It was like a serial killer. But yeah, that was a great book. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I always like that when that happens. It's like it makes me feel all
Case and
all warm inside.
That's an Arabic outfit. Yeah, I guess you don't know. He's too young and he's not American. So the name of the series was called I Dream of Jeannie, and it was about an astronaut who lived here in Florida, who gets shot out into outer space, and when he comes down, he lands on a desert island, and he finds a bottle. And he picks the bottle up, and a genie comes out. And he can't get rid of the genie. And she is a genie. She's supposed to be a Persian genie. And she's in love with him. She won't...
Even though she's white as fuck.
No, the Persians were white.
Yeah.
And Persians were white, they even had blondes. And she's just... because he found her, she says that, no, you're my master, I can't go anywhere. And she can fulfill wishes. There's not a limit of them. But he's trying to hide the fact that he's got a genie, because if they find out, he'll get kicked out of the space program. So only his friend knows who's another astronaut. And they're trying to hide it from this dude named Dr. Bellows, who's a colonel, and he's their psychiatrist. And he thinks that they're fucking crazy because they keep hiding this genie. He knows something's wrong. And all kinds of fucking fucked up shit happens with the genie. A djinn gets involved, who's an evil djinn. It was...
Yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah, and I think she was... the evil djinn was trying to force her to marry him, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, what? Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, she was supposed to get married a long time ago to this djinn. She gets out of that.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it
can't have that shit happen.
But it was just a fun series.
Yeah, it was super fun.
And she wasn't always
a comedy. It was
yeah,
it
was comedy. When she'd come out of the damn bottle, a big old peak smoke, and she'd fucking poof, she'd be there.
Inside of the bottle was so sweet.
Yeah, her bottle was a pad. It was fucking pillows and
like
shit. She'd
purple
be in there.
pillows. It was all like fancy.
She'd be in there like I don't know, smoking hookah and shit.
I don't know what she was. She didn't have a TV or nothing.
No.
She was just like in there.
She was reading stuff and doing stuff.
That's true. I guess she had books and stuff. But still,
yeah,
like, you get kind of bored. Like, is he ever gonna call me to do anything? Because holy shit, it's boring in here.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
And you can see the pilot episode. The pilot episode was black and white. That's where he finds the bottle.
It was much better when it was color though, because it looked so much. Because like the design of the bottle and like her outfit and stuff like that was. It was
really
psychedelic.
Cool. It was all 60s.
Yeah. It was super fun. I used to like that show.
Yeah, fun show.
I mean, I'm a little too young to have seen it in the first iteration, obviously. Yeah. But it was in syndication for many, many years after.
Well, that show was a hit, so I think it was NBC had to copy it. And they came up with their answer to it. It was called Bewitched.
Yeah.
And it was about a guy who marries this chick from Salem, and turns out she's a witch, and she's hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
And all her relatives don't approve of this fucking mixed marriage between a mortal and a witch.
Well, because she's presumably not going to get older, and he is. So.
There's all kinds. And they had a kid, a little daughter named Tabitha. She was a half a witch.
Yeah.
She could do stuff too.
She's a half witch.
Yeah, and the husband didn't approve. He was trying to stop all the witchcraft.
Now, see, I don't like that.
Yeah.
He knew she was a witch when he married her, presumably.
No, he didn't know. He found out later after he married her she was a witch.
So she didn't tell him?
Yeah, she was
all right,
so that's hiding.
That's bullshit.
She was pretending to be a mortal. She was pretending to be a regular mortal person.
That'd be something after you like married somebody who's like, hey, by the way, I have something to confess.
She was trying to...
I have magic powers.
She was trying to leave witchcraft behind.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
And the relatives were all trying to break him up.
Yeah. So I was going to say...
in trouble. Remember, he was an advertising agent.
Yeah,
and
that's
she
right.
would save his bacon all the time and come up with these fucking advertising...
Well, if he wasn't so lame, then he wouldn't need her to, like, kind of fucking save his ass all the time.
It was funny, though.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
It was very funny. They're talking about... Allison says, as a tween, I crushed on Joe from the spinoff from Different Strokes. Facts of Life. Yeah. Nancy McKeon. Yeah. Oh, man. She was such a great character. I think she did come on to Facts of Life later. And she was like... She was like the bad girl, kind of. She wasn't that bad, obviously. But I used to watch that show. And, she was pretty... Like, I don't know if I'd say she's hot, but I would hit that. Well, just because she was a lot... All the other girls in there, like Blair especially, she was insufferable. I hate that kind of blonde, snotty, rich girl.
She was cute as shit. She started to gain weight, too, and I was like thinking, like, she's carrying my baby.
Did you really?
That's what I was thinking as a kid.
She's cute, but I thought she was annoying as fuck. Because I don't like that kind of snotty rich girl. I don't like that. So like when Joe came on the show, and she was just kind of like, this more like working class, brunette kind of. I was just like, yeah, that's more my speed. I kind of like that a lot better. She was a great character, and I think it was good that they had like those two characters like, kind of bouncing off each other. Like I thought that kind of worked out really well. That was a good show. I haven't seen it in a long time, obviously, but I used to really like it when I was a kid. But I liked Natalie and Tootie also. They were also good characters. That was it, right? Wait. Was it just the four of them? It was Blair and Joe and Tootie and Natalie, right? Was there another one? Shit, now I'm blanking. I haven't seen that show in so long. Oh my god. Yeah, Joe came in later. Yeah, see, I thought she did. Like, she got transferred there, and it was like this big fucking thing. Kason Lee said in the 80s I was busy being born. Yeah, Murder and Hornet said I was born in the 70s. Yeah, I was too. I was born in 1972. So I was a teenager in the 80s. Like, I was in high school, junior high school and high school in the 80s. I actually graduated from high school in 1990. Serious question to all, Ginger or Marianne? Marianne all day. Marianne all day. Ginger hot too, but yeah. I was more into Marianne's vibe. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of hard to. They're both different. I don't know if one was hotter than the other. They were both hot.
Should have been a three-way going on.
You think? You'd want to watch that?
All right, I'm gonna showcase him because he's from
all right, I gotta pee.
Another country.
I gotta pee.
Hold on. Start talking.
I was drinking before the show.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I can pee already.
All right. The competition to I Dream of Jeannie was Bewitched. And that had Elizabeth Montgomery in it. That's Elizabeth Montgomery, and she was a witch in the series. That was a really good series, man. And yeah, she could compete with yeah. She's getting ready to cast one of her spells. Oh, here she is in her witch outfit. Yeah. Sometimes when she had to pull the magic out, she would just boom, because she could just snap her fingers and change her clothes. That's her.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, she was from Salem, like old Salem, the 1600s. Yeah.
All right, move so I can get my chair.
Yeah.
You're blocking my shit here. My captain's chair.
Yeah. Yeah, here's another one. She's getting ready to. Got her 1500s.
Didn't she
fucking
like wiggle her nose?
Yeah, she could wiggle her nose and fucking make something happen.
I would abuse the shit out of that.
Make things appear, disappear.
Probably good I don't have that power, because man, I'd be blowing up heads all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
If you got like the fucking plausible deniability, man.
Yeah, she was smoking.
I'm like, hey, you pissed me off. I'm just like, doop.
Now she had an evil sister too. What was the evil sister's name? Samantha. Sabrina. No, isn't it?
Yeah,
no.
Joseph says, like Bewitched, Barbara Eden had an evil twin played by Barbara Eden.
Yeah.
That was on I Dream of Jeannie. Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of feel like they would always, like, one network had a hit, and then another network would come and be like, well, we want something like that, but a little bit different. So it was the same thing that happened with, Addams Family came on, and, like, then they did the Munsters, and then, and then, like you said, they did that.
That was Sabrina. That was also Elizabeth Montgomery, but that was her evil cousin or something. Or was her...
That's her goth cousin.
It's her goth cousin. Yeah, she was gothed out.
That's kind of a terrible wig, but...
Yeah, she was fun, though. That was,
I admit, I have a lot of terrible wigs, too, so I'm not...
Yeah, look at that.
I'm not judging.
See? She
looks like Joan Jett.
Yeah, she had a heart tattoo next to her eye.
Look at her. She looks like fucking Joan Jett. That's amazing.
And that was the 60s.
Way
1960s,
yeah. Way ahead of her time. Well, like I said, we had a lot of stuff like that going on. So look at, like, fucking Vampira, man.
Yeah.
That was 1950s.
Yeah.
And she was, like, super goth.
There's Sabrina in her witch outfit.
Okay, I like that hair, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously a wig, but it's a good wig. It looks good, though. It looks good, though.
So if you're a foreigner and you've never seen I Dream of Jeannie or Bewitched, you should see them. They're good.
They're good programs.
They're fun.
They're real fun. Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. Tammy said my daughter's name is Tabitha. I always thought that was a cool name. Oh, she's pissed. Yeah. In that, she looks like Nancy from The Craft.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Farouza Balk.
Yeah.
Like that face. Oh, I'm about to fuck you up. She's got like a women's symbol on her face.
It's different every time she appears.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Because she's magic. She can appear in any way she wants to.
Man, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Here she is, psychedelic.
I love that face, too. She's just like, bitch, please. Murder Hornet is a fan of Marianne. Yeah, like I said, they're both hot. But Ginger was a little too try-hard Marilyn Monroe for me, whereas Marianne was more genuine, I guess. Maybe that's what it was. Even though she was kind of more like country girl, which I'm not usually into, but I kind of like the more glam aspect. So I would kind of like it if Marianne wore Ginger's clothes. I think that would be the ideal situation. Allison said I hated Blair. Well, I mean, she was supposed to be a hateable character. She was supposed to be a little rich snot that you wanted to punch in the face. And so, she did a good job playing that because that's exactly how you felt about it. I think she kind of softened as the show went on, if I remember. Yeah, Case and Lee said, oh, we missed one. Oh, wait. Mango said, member for 14 months. Great review of Late Night with the Devil. Thank you very much. I fucking loved that movie. And actually, the more I think about it, the more I loved it. And the more I'm like, I need to buy this shit as soon as it comes out because I want to watch it again. And I know that some people... I kind of feel like 95% of the reviews of it I've seen have been like, oh my god, this is the best fucking shit ever, which is the camp that I'm in. But then, of course, there's going to be your... typical naysayers. It wasn't that scary. It wasn't that good. It's so overrated. Yeah. Because you can't like things anymore, apparently, or people get all over your case about it.
Yeah, Kaysen said those are beautiful pics. Or those of Elizabeth Montgomery. Yeah, for real. That was 1960s television. It was old when we were little kids. They were still playing it in reruns. It's an old format. If you take the commercials out of them, those programs were probably only about 16 to 8 minutes long per episode. They've been very short.
Yeah, I think episode. 21 minutes, 24 minutes,
maybe,
something
if that.
Like that.
I would think that 16, 17 minutes probably. Maybe. There were a lot of commercials.
That's true.
And laugh tracks where there's like an audience watching it, laughing at it.
Yeah. Which there wasn't.
There wasn't. It was something. It was probably the cast laughing at themselves, just in laugh tracks. They were just fun. They were just fun programs. You could get through 4 episodes quickly. And both of those, I think, started off as black and white.
Yeah.
Like maybe the first season. But when television went color, man, it made a big difference.
I remembered Bewitched being in black and white.
Yeah. So was I Dream of Jeannie started in black and white.
Yeah. But like I said, both of us are too young to have seen them in their first run.
Yeah, we saw them as reruns.
We saw them as reruns because they were syndicated, so they would show them on cable channels all the time, like when we were kids. But we obviously are not old enough to have seen them the first time around, because I don't even know when they started. Early 60s?
Mid 60s, I think.
Okay, so I wasn't alive.
They were mid 60s, I think.
You were born in 69.
69, yeah.
And I was born in 72. So I wasn't really aware of TV until the mid to late 70s. I do remember seeing stuff from the mid to late 70s.
I'd be a little kid and be watching, and they would...
Yeah, me too.
They would play I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, The Munsters, and fucking The Addams Family. I don't think The Addams Family was ever in color, though, was it?
No. They did a Halloween special that was in color, and I reviewed it for on my other channel. But I didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
It looked a lot cooler because, it was based on the Charles Addams cartoon, so I liked that it was in black and white.
The Munsters ended up being in color.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
I think those look better in black and white to me because, like I said, they're kind of, well, particularly the Munsters is, you know, parodying a little bit or homaging the Universal monster movies.
Yeah.
So it's like you should keep it in black and white, honestly.
I don't.
It looks better.
In color, Yvonne DiCarlo looked great though. Man.
Really?
Yeah, she was cute. Yvonne DiCarlo was playing Lily.
Yeah.
Lily, I guess, was a vampire, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she was also had like Bride of Frankenstein
she
things
was
too,
both,
like with the white stripe in her hair and stuff. So they were just, like I said, they were just playing with the Universal monster tropes. Whereas, you know, the Addams Family, obviously, you know, you guys all know this, but it came from an old comic, you know, which that wasn't really based on Universal monsters. It was just kind of like weirdos that had a house and like everybody would come over and be like, what the fuck are these weirdos all about, you know?
Yeah,
like super ahead of its time, that comic was. That's why a lot of goths like that, because they could fucking relate. Like between that and Edward Gorey, you know, Edward Gorey was just like weird though. His shit was just weird. I have tons and tons of I have a huge book of the original Addams Family cartoons, and I have 3 or 4 huge books of Edward Gorey stuff also.
There was Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily Munster in color.
But see,
proto-gothic looking.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, but most of that, like, other than the red lips, which look cool, like, most of it's black and white anyways.
It's pink.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean...
Or mauve, I guess it'd be good.
Let's see. The Phantom said Mary Ann aged better. I haven't seen either of them in a really long time, so I didn't even know they were still alive. So I'm not really sure what either of them look like nowadays. Let me see.
There's the black and white version of Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily. Yeah. She looked good.
She was in some other stuff when she was older, but she got like kind of heavy.
Yeah. She dated Howard Hughes for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oracle said she thought Marianne was dead. Yeah, I thought she was too. Mango said, what's the connection between Edward Gorey and the Addams Family? I don't think there really is one. I'm not saying that Edward Gorey wasn't influenced by the Addams Family cartoons. He probably was, but Edward Gorey had his own thing going on. You know what I mean? Like, he was really into that, like, old, weird, Victorian kind of stuff.
That's a creepy photo. Look at that.
What? Yeah.
That's color. The color of Yvonne DiCarlo. She's just blue. It doesn't really show up on the camera.
But,
yeah. Oh my god, this is funny. The Phantom points out Yvonne DiCarlo was older than Al Lewis, who played Grandpa, when that show came out,
That's
and
weird,
yet
yeah.
he was her father.
Yeah.
They do that kind of shit all the time.
She was well preserved.
Well, and she wasn't that old. Well, the funny thing about it
they were
is
in their
that
40s, weren't they?
right, but it's just kind of like I kind of feel like that's indicative. You still kind of see it nowadays, but not as much. Where it's just kind of like, hey, we had this woman play this actor's mom, even though she's only like 8 years older than him, or something like that. Like, because it's like, you know, if you're over 30 or 35 or something, you're just old, I guess.
The other day they were showing the cast of Cheers.
That's right, he showed me that picture.
And next to them were their ages at the time.
At the time that they were shooting the show?
They were all in their 20s and their 30s, man, and they looked like they were in their 50s or 60s.
They did. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
They were like showing like how, well, like what ages they were like at the time,
Yeah.
and some of them were like in their late 20s or early 30s. I'm like, holy crap! I would have thought they were at least in their 40s, their 50s.
Yeah.
That's insane. People don't age like they used to.
No. Well, I think it depends on what your lifestyle is, what your diet is.
That too. Hey, John Robertson, haven't seen you in a while. Said, hey guys, it's been a minute since I could catch a live stream. Both of y'all look great. Well, thank you very much. Love that General Ming facial hair. Tom looks good. Yeah, he does.
Who is this?
John Robertson.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't been here in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in the chat for a long time. Yeah, we've still been doing the thing. 3 times a week. And we put up I put up other videos too. That's crazy. I actually didn't know that Yvonne DiCarlo was older than Al Lewis when that show came out. But that totally tracks. Yeah, Marianne is dead now. Okay. High Desert said Tom would look nice with his pointy beards. He was just talking about doing that.
I have some of those I have every now and then. I let it grow a little bit, make it pointy, but it's too hard to keep up with. I like to keep my facial hair kind of short.
I mean, it gets to be kind of a pain if it gets to be too long.
Shit gets in it.
Yeah, that's what
I can't stand it. I didn't grow up with facial hair, so I was shaved. I'm not really used to it.
Like I said, that was the beard. The facial hair is a newish development. I never knew him with facial hair, and he never had it like growing up. But he just decided he was going to grow some. But I like it. I think it looks good. Allison says Tina Louise looks dead. Sad to say. Shit, I'm gonna have to like look her up. I feel bad. I don't like to do that though, because it always kind of like bums me out. Like looking up somebody that like looked super good like back in the day, and then you see them now and you're like, ah. I mean, sometimes it's a pleasant surprise. Sometimes you look them up and go, damn, they still look good. You know what I mean? Even though they're 80 or whatever. But it's like sometimes you look them up and I'm just like, they're unrecognizable, and that just like makes me sad. Oracle says kitty news. Oh boy. Freya slept at my feet late last night. Aw, that's awesome. Man, I woke up this morning at like, it was 2 or 3 in the morning. And I kind of had to pee, but like not too bad that I was like, I got to get up or nothing because I really didn't want to. And Pookie had fallen asleep. Like I was laying on my back and I guess my legs were kind of spread out like that a little bit. And she had fallen asleep right between my knees. So I kind of went like that and there was this big furry lump like right in between. And I was like, well, even if I wanted to pee, I guess I can't now because I can't disturb her. You know what I mean? But yeah. She's weird like that. Bambi will not get up on the bed, and we can't figure out why. We've tried to, like, pick her up and bring her up on the bed, being like, look, it's okay to be on the bed. You can come up on the bed, and, we'll pet you up here and stuff like that, but she just won't. You bring her up there, and she's like, oh, shit, I'm not supposed to be up here, and she jumps down. But Pookie will be on the bed all day long. She doesn't care.
Oh, she'll get in your business, man. She's like, come on, move out of the way. Move that tablet.
Yeah, she's like, come on. Yeah, she'll just like she'll sit up on your chest and just look at your face. Or like I said, most of last night she slept between my knees. Like I woke up at 2 or 3 in the morning and I was just like, and there was a big lump between my legs. Like she just like fell asleep there. I mean, High Desert said, are you going to see The First Omen? Sounds like it's got good reviews. I probably will, but I don't know if I'm going to go to the theater to see it, to be honest with you. I'll probably watch it when it comes to streaming eventually. Let's see. Oracle said, yeah, I've got cats that trapped me like that. Yeah, I just feel bad. I don't, because, I'm like, oh, they're sleeping and she's all comfortable. And it's like, if I move, she's going to get all upset and she'll be like, and she'll like grouch at me and stuff. So I'm just like, I'm just going to lay here and be really still. Even though, So we have to tell the story. I even wrote it down.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Well, you said that you said you wanted me to write it down. Well, since we were talking about it being the middle of the night and shit, like, because I think this happened last night or...
No, 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, okay.
Yeah. I said, we got to talk about this on the show. I get up in the middle of the night. It's probably about 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I get up to go take a leak. I go in the bathroom. Now, here's the weird thing about my bathroom. I didn't design this bathroom. I don't know who fucking did. It's got 2 towel racks.
Yeah.
One towel rack is in the shower. I don't know how we would put that shit in there.
Well, now, I kind of wish I had one in my shower because I like to hang like the...
washcloths, maybe.
Like washcloths, yeah. Because I like to use washcloths.
And the other one is behind the toilet on the same wall.
Yeah.
That's a stupid place to put it. But really, I was looking around. There is no other place to put it in
I have one there, too.
Because there really is no other place to put it in my bathroom because there's like closet doors and showers and fucking sinks and shit. Mirrors. They got a huge mirror. So I go in there and fucking, stand in front of the toilet, get ready to take a leak. And I put my arm forward and I'm leaning.
He's like leaning to pee. Like...
Yeah, leaning. I was asleep. It's almost kind of like I was sleepwalking. And I was leaning against the curtain, not curtain, what do you call it? The towel.
The towel rack, yeah.
The towel rack rod. It's a plastic rod. It's square. And it's in between these 2 porcelain arms that hold it, you know. And I had my hand up on it, and then I slowly started falling asleep. And I went forward like that, and forward, and my whole arm was resting up against it. And I started falling forward, and pow! It snapped. Snapped into two places, and I fucking fell forward. I wasn't peeing. I was trying to get ready to. I fell asleep standing up.
That's
and
hysterical.
I fell asleep leaning up against that thing, and it snapped right in the middle and went flying, and I fucking stood up like, what the fuck? It woke me back up.
Which is funny because I didn't wake up when you got up. Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But I did wake up. All I heard was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
And then I was like half asleep, so I was like, what the hell is that all about? But then like I fell back
asleep
again.
standing up. And I was leaning against that thing, broken.
I mean, that was better than the one time that I thought you were gonna pee on the floor, like in the bedroom.
Okay, this is another story. It's the reason why we told this story, because that was part 2. There was a part 1 about a year ago.
Yeah, I think we've told this before, but it's still funny.
I got up, and I was dreaming that I was peeing, that I was pissing.
I have dreams like that, but that's usually my brain telling me, get up and go to the bathroom so you don't wet the bed, please.
And in my dream, I was sitting there pissed in the toilet. But I wasn't. I was standing at the foot of the bed.
Yeah.
Sideways.
Yeah, because we have like a bench.
Yeah.
Like that's covered with material, but like you can lift the bench up and like store stuff in there, but like you can sit on it too. There,
you know, wazir in hand.
Wazir.
Yeah, it's like a magic wand. And I hear this disembodied voice, Jenny's voice, goes, what are you doing? And I said, I'm pissing. It's because you're pissing on the bed?
No, on the floor.
On the floor, yeah. And I fucking woke me up. And I wasn't pissing. I was just dreaming that I was. I reached down and tried to touch it.
I for real thought you'd peed on the floor.
Whoa. I was reaching down, touching it, seeing it, and I couldn't find it. I was sleepwalking.
Yeah, it was super weird.
Sleepwalking,
well, see, you freaked me out at first because I woke up. I don't know what woke me up. I don't know if you were making noise or something. And then I looked over like that, and you were just standing there. And I was like, oh my God, that was just like fucking, that's like paranormal activity. And I was like, it really creeped me out because you were just standing there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you guys saw Paranormal Activity, right? Yeah. Like, you know, she's just standing there for like 4 hours or whatever.
I was sleepwalking. I was probably standing there for a long time.
And so then I was just I looked at him for a minute and being like, this is really spooky. And then I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm pissing. I'm like, you're pissing on the floor?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And then he woke up.
Yeah, woke up. I was sleepwalking.
He was sleepwalking. I wonder if you really would have peed on the floor. Probably.
I think I was standing there for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I think I was there for a long time.
Oh, that's so creepy.
That's why I woke you up.
Yeah, probably, because I was probably getting like
I think
weird.
I was standing there for a long time.
Like I said, Paranormal Activity vibes.
Yeah.
Somebody standing there like what? He wasn't looking at me, but he was just
no,
like
my eyes were closed.
Yeah, they were standing at the
bed. Yeah.
It was just like so creepy, like seeing you standing there like that.
Yeah. I could sleepwalk.
So creepy.
I sleepwalk every now and then.
Well, see, that's kind of worrying because I've never sleepwalked, not that I know of. Because we have stairs. Like, what if you sleepwalked and you fell down the stairs or something?
I don't seem to go very far.
I hope not.
Like when I broke that thing, I was basically sleepwalking.
Yeah.
I was sleeping, standing up. It comes from the army.
Yeah.
From being able to fucking sleep deprivation, you know.
And just doing shit while you're like not even awake.
Doing stuff when you're not awake and stuff. Yeah. I fell asleep while I was walking. I was humping. I had fucking 60 pounds of fucking ruck on me and equipment on me. And fucking fell asleep walking. It was weird. I'll tell the story. I was in Korea. We were walking in single file. And in those days, we had these Kevlar helmets. We called them K-pots. And the K-pot had a cover over it. It was a camouflage cover material on there. And it had a band that went around it. Helmet band. The helmet band was, by the book, you're supposed to like put weeds and shit in it and you could add camouflage to your helmet. But we never actually did that. On the back of those helmet bands were things we called cat eyes, which were little rectangles of glowing plastic material. And they were sewn into it. And that was real hardcore. That was fucking, what did they say, Jen?
Thank you very much, Aaron. Gave us a very nice super chat. Happy Friday. Love your bangs, Jenny. Thank you very much. They're crooked, but yeah. It's like, I can't ever get them straight. So pretty as always. Thank you very much. That is very, very nice of you. That's awesome. We love getting super chats. Love getting super chats.
So what the cat eyes are for on the backs of that helmet is so you can see the guy in front of you when you're walking at night in formation.
Well, yes, you don't like run up on him.
You got to have a fucking 10 meter distance in between everybody. And it ends up kind of being like taillights in a car. And that glowing material, I don't know if that shit was probably cancer causing. I don't know. That shit stayed glowing for a long time. Who knows what was in it? But that shit glowed real well. And you couldn't see it from a distance, but you could see it, from about fucking 40 feet, 50 feet. You could see it. So for hours I was walking. I was tired, man. We weren't hardly getting any sleep. Sleep a couple hours a day, but mostly just walking. And this is Korea. This is real rough terrain. We were down in the valley, and I'm walking, and I'm just kind of looking at those cat eyes on the guy's helmet in front of me, and my mind just started wandering, And you're thinking about home and all kinds of shit, you know what I mean? You're thinking about McDonald's, or you're thinking about food or anything.
I'm always thinking about
You're hearing songs in your head, you know what I mean, that you haven't heard in a long time. I used to hear fucking New Year's Day a lot from U2. I'd hear that a lot.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'd hear that song a lot. And then I'm looking at those cat eyes, and all of a sudden I was looking at them, and they were the eyes of a fucking tiger staring at me. And I stopped. And I'm looking at that thing, and I'm like, that thing's going to fucking jump on me. And somebody touched me and says, "What are you doing? Why'd you stop?" And I turned around and says, "You look at that tiger." "What tiger?" And I snapped out of it, and there was nothing in front of me at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit, we broke contact."
Brains are
so
weird,
I just started
man.
running. I fell asleep walking.
Yeah.
And I said, "Where the fuck?"
Brains are weird.
He went off one way, I went off the other way. And I had walked quite a bit. And behind me were probably...
And they were all following your dumb ass.
Yeah, there was about 200, maybe 100 people behind me, maybe 75 people behind me. The rest of the company.
Good job, Tom.
Yeah, so I just stopped. I was like, where are they? And I could hear them fucking walking, but they were maybe 100 meters away off this direction. So I started running in that direction.
Shit.
I'm busting brush and shit.
Hey, you
they
fell
were fucking
asleep.
tall.
Shit happens.
And I could hear everybody behind me running, about 75 people. And then I see, and there he is. What it is, I intersected a fucking road that they cut. Because there's so many dudes walking, and the grass was so high, they left a road behind them, like a what do you call it? A trail. Not even a trail, almost like a hallway, because it has walls. So I hit that fucking trail that they made in all those reeds, and I went, okay, it's this way. So I made a left turn and went maybe another 50 meters or so, and I saw cat eyes at the back of that guy's head and caught up with him. And once I caught up with him, I started walking like nothing went wrong. And then I heard some big shuffling behind me. I was acting casual, like nothing happened. The dude behind me knew who it was, but he was my friend. It was fucking Sparks.
Hey, listen to this, you guys. Tom thought there was a tiger. That's
so
why.
I remade contact, and then I was walking along with him for just a few minutes, and all of a sudden, some NCO comes running. Why are we running? Why are we running? Why are we running? And I was, I don't know. They were just running.
We just felt like running, sir.
They were just running. No, I said the dudes in front of me was running. I don't know what it is. I sent him up the line. And they were like, we weren't running.
Oh, you
got
threw
up there
under people under the bus. Lame.
And then I saw him walk back, and he got back. He didn't know why we were running. We were running because fucking I broke contact with the rest of the company. Had to catch up with them.
We just felt like running, sir.
Yeah, so we ran probably a good 75 meters.
That's fucking funny.
Maybe more. And but I fell asleep walking.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that happen. I have been so tired that I started hallucinating though.
Yeah, well that was happening too. You're hallucinating, then you fall asleep.
Yeah.
I was seeing the fucking tigers looking at
hallucinating while I was driving.
Yeah, it's like that.
Not ideal. But I did pull over. I mean, I pulled over at a rest stop and went to sleep. I was with somebody else. I was with another person, so it's just like. John Robertson said, your history of horror movies video was fantastic, Jenny. Thank you very much. I wanted to do that for such a long time, and it took me forever to do. It took me weeks and weeks, but I'm so glad that I finally did it. I was watching Psycho 2 here recently, and I was like, please leave the mentally ill man alone, please. I kind of like the second one a little more. Psycho 2 is ridiculously good. It is like way, way, way better.
The whole series is good.
Yeah, they're all good.
The whole movie series.
But I kind of feel like maybe people don't know, because I mean, Psycho is obviously a classic and it's amazing, but it's just kind of like, so I feel like, oh, you know, they do these sequels and stuff, and man, like people are like not all that excited about it. But Psycho 2 is legit a really, really, really good movie.
Yeah.
And the 3 and 4 are good too.
Anthony Perkins, he kind of made that character.
Yeah.
And I saw an interview with him. They did like a little documentary. It's on one of those movies. I don't remember which movie it is.
Because don't we have
them all.
Set that has all of them in there.
There was weird shit about him. He was gay. His boyfriend was like fucking one of the most fucking biggest leading men in Hollywood. Fucking Hollywood was like fucking worried that it would get out that those two were a couple.
Yeah, you had to keep shit under wraps back then.
Yeah, because Anthony's fucking boyfriend was like a fucking huge heartthrob for women. Was just all over this guy, and they showed them together. You know what I mean? I guess you could say they look like peers. You know what I mean? They look like they kind of fit together, really. You know. Stylish looking guys. But what was weird about, I don't say it's weird about him, what was weird about this character that he made up is he kind of based it on his own problems, his own childhood problems. Anthony's mom was an actress. She was an actress. I think she was a Hollywood actress. She was sleeping with him from an early age. And that's where he came up with some of that stuff about Norman Bates. It's mixed in with, what is it?
The Ed Gein shit. Ed Gein. Because that's what the novel was based on, loosely.
And I don't know if he got the role because of that. I don't know. Maybe he told somebody, he said, yeah, something like this happened to me. Although, in the Psycho movie, it never really stipulated whether or not fucking Norman Bates and his mom had a thing.
Well, now, in the fourth one, which is a prequel...
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Bates Motel was sort of based off of. Olivia Hussey was in it, playing the mom. And they kind of do hint, I haven't seen it in a while. I saw it a bunch of times back in the old days, but they do kind of hint that there was something going on. I mean, she for real like wanted, and I kind of feel like in the context of the movie, like he was weirded out by it.
Yeah.
But she was very much trying to.
Yeah, but was that added because of Anthony?
Well, I'm not sure.
Because I imagine because he had a lot to do with the development of that character and that series.
Yeah.
So I think it was modeled after him eventually. You know, after
Maybe so.
In other words, part 2, 3, and 4. I think he controlled those.
Well, I think he was a producer on them for sure.
Yeah, they're great.
They're all good. All of them are good. I think that 2 is my favorite, but you know. Like, other than the original, obviously, which is a classic. But like I said, of all the sequels, 2 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because I like that he comes out and he's, like, sympathetic.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, other people being shitty to him kind of causes him to revert back, you know?
Well, it's kind of a self-defense mechanism.
Right. So I like that they...
bad people.
Yeah, and I kind of like that they explored that angle because it's like, you know, it was a long time ago and it's like because they did it, like, in real time, you know what I mean? Like, they're letting him out of the hospital and... You know.
I liked what the prequel to the Hannibal Lecter series was, a Hannibal Rising. I've heard some people, some movie like Midnight's Edge. Those guys from Midnight's Edge, I really respect most of their opinions on movies and the movie industry, as it is at least, or as it was. They did not like Hannibal Rising. They thought it was like a letdown. I thought the opposite. I thought it was a fucking masterpiece. It was a European movie. And it was the story of how Hannibal became the cannibal that you know. When you watch it, there's a lot of parallels between Hannibal Lecter and Batman. He was kind of a hero, going out for revenge against the people that had eaten his sister. But then he just gets so twisted up, killing all those other dudes, and he finds out that he also ate some of his sister to stay alive. They fed him some of her, because they were starving to death in this thing. So then he turned in on himself, hatred for the self, and then drove him fucking crazy. And if you were rude to this dude, he'd kill you and eat you. And they were drawing parallels through the movie. It's like, well, it's kind of like what samurai and tribal warriors have done forever. Samurai would take heads and get money for heads, and they did fucking crazy shit too. And that, because I guess you could say his adopted stepmom / lover was this Japanese noblewoman that had married his uncle, but the uncle had died. It's a good story. But he realized that because he was related to her, that he's a samurai. And he's also kind of like Count Dracula. There's a bunch of parallel things that he's doing in that movie. Bunch of different elements of kind of like heroism and anti-heroism and animalism all kind of happening. And I don't think the movie was well received, but the fucking quality was very good. And it was a period piece. And everything is very accurate, down to the guns that they show, the motorcycles, the cars, the clothes. They show a fucking T-34 fucking tank on the Eastern Front, and it was totally accurate. They even had a bicycle strapped to the fucking turret, which they did that. Because once you parked the tank, you had to get on a bicycle to ride around and fucking, get food and shit buy stuff at the local towns, when you were on the Eastern Front, And I just thought they really did their research with that. They showed an MV Agusta, single-cylinder MV Agusta sport bike, which was in the fucking early 50s, was a hot motorcycle. It was just a single-cylinder 350. And he had one. Just I thought it was a cool movie.
It was a cool movie.
Yeah.
CB said when my dad was in the RAF, he had been up for so long he saw a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah, you can have out-of-body experiences.
Tom saw a whole McDonald's that wasn't there.
Saw a McDonald's that wasn't there.
Because he wanted coffee and hash browns so bad.
Yeah. That was not only fatigue, there was also extreme cold weather.
Yeah.
I was probably dying. But they put me in a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Miguel Chifino did it. Buddy of mine. Still in contact. He's part of Homeland Security now.
Cam Guy said, my friend's old man looked like Tony Perkins, and a lady started yelling at him in a store back then. You killed Janet Leigh! How fucking funny would that be? I'm sure he got that all the time. Any actor that plays like a really iconic villain, I feel like they're going to get a lot of abuse from dumbasses in the real world that don't understand acting, I guess. And they think that person's really like that, which is fucking funny. The Phantom said, what's Tom and Jenny's opinion of 70s style female prison films? Do you like them or not?
I haven't seen one in a long
my
time.
opinion, Pam Grier prison films are always a great watch, just saying. I remember liking the ones that I saw, but I haven't seen any for a very long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen any prison films in a long, long time. Pam Grier, she was something else, though. She held together for a long time, too. She stayed good looking for a long time. She was in Escape from L.A., She played a transsexual in fucking Escape from L.A. It was a good movie. It wasn't a good movie. I'm gonna back up on it. Escape from L.A. was not a good movie.
It wasn't an objectively good movie.
No, but I enjoyed it after a while. After I watched it a couple times and got used to it, it was kind of like a parody of the first one. I wouldn't have quite have done it that way, but okay.
Me neither. Like, if that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He just wanted to make a joke about it.
I would have done that shit fucking straight. You know what I mean? Serious.
Yeah, I would have too. But, I'm not a real big fan of, like, parody kind of stuff. I mean, unless it's done right.
They just didn't quite take the source material seriously. And, Escape from New York kind of had an edgy tone to it. Even though that movie's not an action movie. I don't know what kind of movie that is.
I would not call it an action movie, no.
It's more kind of like an adventure thriller, maybe. I don't know. An adventure movie, I guess.
Yeah. It's not an action movie.
No, not much. Action happens in it, but it's not big budget action. It's little shit. And there's a car chase and some wrecks, but even that's not that big of a deal. Guns are fired, but there aren't any real gunfights in it. It's just it's a cool flick. It's just weird. It's in its own. It's in its own category.
It's got its own genre. But like I said, I kind of feel like a lot of times, sometimes those are the best movies, or so they're the most interesting movies, at least. The ones you can't really classify.
Yeah. It was interesting enough for the Italians to rip that shit off for about 10 years.
Oh my God, they did.
There's so many Italian exploitation fucking movies of fucking
Escape 2000.
Yeah.
AKA Escape from the Bronx. That's the same one. That's the same
all
one.
kinds of stupid shit.
I saw that on MST.
Yeah.
That's a funny episode, actually. Like the dude is, his name is Trash.
Yeah. Stupid shit. And then they ripped off fucking Conan for fucking 15 years.
Well, hey, man, they ripped off fucking Jaws for a long time, too.
Yeah.
They had, like, a whole bunch of Jaws knockoffs, also.
Yeah, all those swords.
They make original shit, too, but they do a lot of rip-offs.
All of those sword and sorcery movies after Conan, they all sucked. Don't fucking watch anything that's like Conan. Nothing.
Unless you want to get drunk and laugh.
Yeah, you cannot beat Conan 1, Conan the Barbarian. Even Conan 2 can't beat Conan 1. Even Red Sonja can't, and that had Arnold in it. That was a John Milius thing, and he could write a fucking story, and it was John Milius and fucking Oliver Stone. Okay, they fucking showed the world how to make a sword and sorcery movie, and it's got to be fucking serious, and it has to be R-rated, and there's got to be sex and violence in it, blood, and it's got to take itself seriously, but it can only take itself seriously when it has a philosophy behind it. Conan the Barbarian had Nietzschean philosophy, okay, and it's accurate. It's nothing but a bunch of damn morality tales and lessons on how to be a man, and how to be a woman too, because they got a fucking badass women in it also, fucking Valeria, and she dies in it, you know.
Spoiler alert.
But she becomes a Valkyrie though, and it gains immortality from it. And even though she didn't quite complete her mission of having Conan's child, which that's what she wanted to do, but she died. She gave her life to defend him. To buy off the gods. It's a good flick, man. Again, James Earl Jones knocking it out of the park. Dulce Doom with his fucking crazy ass fucking feminist cult run by men. Remember that? There's all these women fucking worshiping the fucking egg of Asherah in a serpent cult. It's supposed to be like female empowerment, but strangely, men run female empowerment.
Ain't that always the way?
Well, it was fake. Everything was fake and deception. And then his Tower of Power.
Somehow it always comes down to dudes running shit.
Dudes running it, actually. Yeah. And then fucking
Lame.
The Tower of Power. The Tower of Power Thulsa Doom lived in, and he says, you're going to burn our way to eternity, to burn our way to paradise. And nobody's doing anything, and it survives by cannibalism. They're eating their own. So you just party and eat your own until it's gone.
Wee!
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
All that shit is very accurate to Nietzsche and his warnings about fucking being a loser. But
don't be a loser.
Don't be a fucking loser. Yeah, some dude is not gonna. You cannot burn your way to paradise. Okay, if you don't plant crops and you don't fucking take care of yourself, you're gonna be a cannibal. That's what all that shit meant.
Phantom says 1976's Jackson County Jail, starring Yvette Mimieux and Tommy Lee Jones, is a decent flick, and she shows her chesticles in it during a rape scene. Chesticles, yeah.
All right, see you, Allison.
Oh, good night, Allison.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us. It's not even that late, is it? It's only 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm not even drunk yet. Really, not that drunk, anyway. I did start a little bit before the show, like 45 minutes before, but that's okay. Murder Hornet said, I love all post-apocalyptic movies. I like a lot of those, too. Like, Boy and His Dog. We were just talking about that movie the other day.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. That's a weird-ass movie.
Another one was that was pretty good was Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. That had what was that girl's name? She had the red hair. The one from Pretty in Pink.
Molly
Ringwald. Molly Ringwald was in that. Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
That's right. I forgot all about that movie.
Yeah. I wanted to get it on Blu-ray, but it's super expensive. Another one that I liked, I haven't seen in a long time. I think it was called Metal Storm or fucking, and it was called Metal Storm.
The Destruction of Jared Sin.
Yeah. It had fucking.
I think I saw that one
Michael
time.
Ironside in it as the fucking bad.
I mean, we love Michael Ironside in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Joseph said, I enjoyed Excalibur with many great Brit actors. I love Excalibur.
Yeah,
we did a review of that a long time ago. We
That's
rewatch it every now. We have it. We have like a huge collection. Tom has a huge collection.
That's another one of my favorite ones. But that did not happen. That movie did not come out after Conan, though. That was before Conan.
Yeah, that was 81, 82?
Yeah, I think. No, it was older than that, I think. Wasn't it? Was it 79?
Now I can't remember. I thought it was 81, but I could be wrong.
I think Excalibur came out first, and then Conan came out.
I can't remember. I just like it blows my mind like how many sword and sorcery movies came out in the 80s. Like after Conan came out, the floodgates opened, man. There was just like a fucking million of those things, and most of them were terrible. Most of them were terrible. Like I said, I saw a lot of them on MST did a bunch of them. And what's that one? They did a series of movies, and I think most of them were shot in Mexico. And they were Deathstalker. And they did one on MST, and that shit was just kind of like, because it's supposed to be, you know, Conan times or Middle Ages or whatever the fuck time it's supposed to be. Like, they never specify really. It's supposed to be Renfest time is what it is. But everybody very clearly had very 80s styling. Like, all the hairstyles were 80s. Like, everybody put perms and feathered hair and shit like that. And, like, all of their outfits were kind of, like, looked like Renfest stuff, but still very 80s. And it's just, they all talked like they were from fucking the Midwest. It's just fucking, it's hysterical. Like, they don't even try. And it's just, like, so funny.
Yeah, he's talking about Excalibur. I'm gonna have to read now that he
81, yeah,
81.
That's what I thought. I thought
was that was the same year as Conan then? But I think Excalibur was released in the United States, I think, before it. But aside from up that point, no, I would put Conan and Excalibur almost at the same level. I love both those movies.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and just mentioning Excalibur makes me want to see it again, because I could chill out and just watch fucking Excalibur, and you know.
And Helen Mirren.
Yeah. Oh man. And she was like, yeah. And she had that fucking goth sorceress outfit with the fucking fishnets and shit. She looked really cool.
Yeah, I want to wear that shit.
Yeah, she was a sexy chick, sexy British chick.
She's still around.
Yeah, and she still looks good.
She does.
She was in a damn movie recently.
She's a great actress. Yeah. I've seen her in a ton of stuff.
I think she was in a Shazam movie. I think, or was it Shazam or what?
Yeah, I think it was the second Shazam movie.
Or, no, yeah, it was a Shazam, or was it? Black Adam. I think she was in Black Adam.
Yeah, that's right. It was one of those two. Though it's because we watched it kind of recently. But like she's been in a shit ton of stuff.
She's got to be 70-something years old. She still looks tight.
She was in I have to like that UK series Prime Suspect, like that murder mystery thing. Yeah. She was like in that series, and that was really good too. I watched that when I was over there.
If we're gonna talk about Excalibur, I don't want to forget about Zardoz. All right, Zardoz grew on me. After I'd seen it a couple times, I started to understand Zardoz a lot more. Zardoz was kind of prophetic. It's about rich people, rich, powerful people in a breakaway civilization. They learn immortality. And they start to depopulate the planet using these fucking killers. And they're shielded inside this little town, and they've gone back green, like net zero or carbon neutral and shit, while they're wiping everybody else out. And one dude was in, and they could live forever until they went crazy. But one of those elites was trying to break the cycle, and by using fucking selective breeding, he was taking one of those killers to make this dude that would come and free him, like a messiah figure, and it played by fucking what's his name, Sean Connery. That movie is damn near perfect But they need to cut out the fucking intro of the silly head talk, and there should have been no intro. It just started with that head, that huge stone head flying through the air. Because if you start the movie at that point, you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's a lot darker.
I feel like a lot of times,
I think they put that intro in there.
They probably did, because that's usually an executive decision.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, whenever there's like an opening crawl or an opening voiceover explaining shit, 9 times out of 10 that is not the director's decision. It's usually like the producers being like, well, we think audiences would be too dumb to figure out what's going on, so you need to explain it up front, or else no one's going to know what's going on, because they don't think that people are smart enough to figure shit out.
Yeah, that ruins that movie. Just having that intro.
Because I hate that.
It should just start with
I'm like, look, I'll figure it out. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, and dudes worshiping the stone heads, and it's spitting out guns, and it goes, the gun is good. The penis is evil, and they're worshiping.
That's what I mean. You open with that. I'm interested.
Penis is evil.
What the fuck is going on?
What's going on? What's going on? He's got these fucking dudes.
You don't need to explain shit. Yeah. I want to know. I want to know what's going on.
These dudes are running around on horseback with fucking all these different guns, and they're just fucking killing anybody who's growing food and fucking just wiping out the planet, while the rich people are just living in an idyllic town. They got a shield wall around them, like a force field. And then there's all kinds of cool shit. They're downloading their souls into a technological crystal, and then respawning the body, and then putting the soul into the body so you could have it you could rejuvenate, or what do you call it? Respawn.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good ideas in it. Another thing I would.
It's a weird as hell movie.
It's a weird movie, but it was actually way ahead of its time.
It was.
It was thinking up some really cool technology that, you could do that. They kind of talk about that kind of shit now, downloading your consciousness into a fucking what a fucking quantum computer, so you can experience a virtual reality, a heaven-like virtual reality after your body has died. It might be possible. But another thing that ruined that movie, I would have gotten rid of that fucking intro with the stupid talking head, they do with the fucking stupid painted on fucking mustache.
Yeah.
Got rid of that. And I would have changed Sean Connery's fucking outfit. Those stupid fucking boots and the shorts.
Because now everybody focuses on that. It's like, look, he's wearing a red diaper.
Yeah, like a red diaper with fucking big.
No one can take you seriously in an outfit like that. Come on.
They made a bad decision.
Just put him in a regular ass outfit. It would have been a lot.
They should have put him in something like a fucking a coverall, like a leather coverall with a fucking helmet.
Yeah, just something.
And a flamethrower or some kind of weapon, something that looked real worker-like. But the reason why they did it is because in that time that movie came out, sci-fi was mixed with fantasy. Had like fucking Barbarella.
Yeah.
And shit like that, and it was swinging 60s, so everything was supposed to be super sexual and shit.
Yeah, so everybody wanted to like dress in revealing stuff, but it's just kind of like, you can't. If you want it to be a serious story, which it seems they kind of did, then you can't have people in red panties going around trying to be serious, because no one's going to take it seriously.
Now, they got the elites right, though. The elites a lot of them were like gender bending or gender neutral and shit. All that shit, that they called it on all that. I think that was good in the theme of the movie. Some of them were kind of like, they were just wearing like Roman togas. That worked.
Everybody was just wearing, which is fine, because like I said, that's kind of just neutral, and it doesn't call attention to itself.
No, and that kind of fit the lifestyle that they were living. But if you're running around and your job is to depopulate the earth of people, you're not going to be wearing the diaper that Sean Connery was fucking wearing. That thing would have been spitting out guns, but it also would have been good. Okay, if they were dressed like Native Americans, that'd have been cool. Which you could say they kind of were. But no, red leather and shit. It'd been better if if that thing spit out guns and equipment and clothes, just shit like fucking coveralls and work clothes, and it would have been a lot better.
See, that's why I kind of feel like that's where a lot of people that, you know how there's like good sci-fi fantasy movies, good post-apocalyptic movies, and then there's like all these knockoffs that are super shitty.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the things that makes them super shitty, among the many other things, is that they don't understand that something like Alien, for example.
Yeah.
Why is that a great horror movie? Why is that a great sci-fi movie? Because all of the characters looked like they would look in real life.
Yeah.
They worked on a spaceship. They were just working class people. They just had regular ass clothes on. If you're, I feel like the tendency in sci-fi, and especially if it's like cheap jack sci-fi where they're trying to get everybody to watch it, let's put everybody in these like really impractical, skimpy ass outfits that you would never wear in real life if you were doing that job. If you're flying a spaceship or mining on another planet or whatever, why would you wear like a fucking bikini and like, but you wouldn't wear that. You just wouldn't.
Well,
and high-heeled boots and shit like that. That is so impractical.
That's why the first 3 Star Wars movies worked. Everything in there looked like something that was really used, beat up, dirty. The clothes were all pretty practical.
Yeah, it's immersive because you could see this looks like a real world. It looks like a lived-in world. That's what people would be wearing. It doesn't call attention to itself.
And the uniforms that the rebels were wearing, especially in Empire Strikes Back and beyond, in the Return of the Jedi, those were BDUs. That was Army BDUs, except they weren't camouflaged. They were just like solid colors, but they had the cargo pockets on the outside, a lot of pockets on them. And, that's something that a soldier would wear, even if he was fucking in a galaxy a long time ago in a far, because the shit was practical.
Yeah.
It wasn't about looks. It was, did that shit work?
Right.
And those clothes worked. That's why fucking that movie holds up those movies hold up even today.
Yeah. And that's why something like, Star Wars holds up, whereas something
doesn't.
Whereas something like Star Crash, which is a direct Italian ripoff of it, is fun. I'm not saying that it's a fun movie, but it's bad.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they dressed everybody in it. Caroline Munro was in it, so they're like, well, we have to put her in these tiny, skimpy little outfits, even though she wouldn't wear that in real life if that was what was really going on.
She was wearing basically a space bikini in the snow.
Yeah. Which, why? Why would you do that? I know why you would do that, like, because it's like we want teenage boys to watch it and jerk off to this. Like, okay. But it's just like in the universe of the movie, you would never wear that. No. You just would not wear that.
No.
So it's like, that's why it doesn't work to me. And it just takes me right out of the fucking story.
A lot of the sci-fi from the late 60s and the mid-60s and 70s, actually, it was sci-fi inspired by Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They looked like Las Vegas showgirls and hookers.
Right, exactly. Like I said, and I know why they did it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that from a movie standpoint, it takes you out of the experience of the movie because it's like no one's going to take it seriously because they're not, as a story.
Right.
Maybe that's not what you want. If that's not what you want, fine.
If they had taken that intro out of Zardoz and gotten rid of that stupid fucking suit that they had
Sean
Connery in, that movie would have been remembered about as much probably as Excalibur.
Yeah, but because it has those stupid elements to it, like I said, that's why you have to be careful with these decisions that you make. And Oracle even pointed out, case in point, the stupid intro for Dark City. Yeah, when we did the review for Dark City a couple weeks back, we specifically watched the director's cut, which doesn't have that because the director, Alex Proyas, absolutely did not want that. And like I said, I think, and we talked about this on the review because Tom was like, well, I think I would have liked the movie better if I knew it was going on beforehand. But I kind of like the experience of discovering what's happening in the movie. So I don't really like it being front-loaded with all the information because I kind of feel like that's the movie makers telling me, well, we know you're a dummy, so we're going to tell you all this. And I'm like, look, I'll figure it out on my own, okay?
Yeah, watching it for the first time on my own, I felt left out of the movie for like the first 20 minutes. Like, what the fuck? I said, I know this isn't reality.
I mean, I could have told you what was going on if you'd asked me.
Yeah, I know this isn't reality.
Although I probably would have said, just watch it.
Right. I think for marketing reasons in that case, I wouldn't have done okay. For marketing reasons in Dark City, it probably would have been better if the audience were to be given more hints earlier on that something wasn't right. That would have helped. I understand that doing an introduction, and especially if it's narrated, nah, that's the worst way to do it. I mean, that's fucking worst case scenario. So I agree with you on that one. But there should have been another way of telling that story to where you could give hints earlier to the audience so they could put two and two together that something wasn't right in this fucking tale. I knew there wasn't something right. I'm watching Dark City the way it's going. I'm like, this isn't reality as I know it. This, I didn't know it was on a spaceship, but I figured it was something kind of like the Matrix, that they were in a pseudo reality. Let's see what's going on here with everybody. Lady Hawk, yeah, I remember that one too. And Dragon Slayer, those were the better ones of the knockoffs. Also, Krull, I'd put that in that same. Krull was also kind of like a Conan ripoff, but it was in some ways kind of good. From what I remember, I haven't seen it in a long time. It had some original elements to it. Krull. But I also remember it being fucking very disappointing. Yeah, I want to see that one again. One that I go back to, an unappreciated classic. It's better than a lot of people think it is when you actually go back to it, was Walt Disney's The Black Hole. The Black Hole was actually pretty cool. When Star Wars came out, Disney, the old Disney, they said we didn't have to have a response to Star Wars. We got to have fucking spaceships, and robots, something like R2-D2s. They came up with the Black Hole. The Black Hole it was pretty good. The problem with the Black Hole was that was not an open world. There was only going to be one movie because they go into the Black Hole and they come out. But what are they going to do that now? You know what I mean? Now that they're out of the Black Hole. It had a religious motif to it, which was kind of weird. I kind of liked it, but I thought they were kind of cheaping out. I thought that was kind of a cop-out. Where they go through the Black Hole and there's images of heaven and hell, and then, fucking the bad guy getting his just rewards in hell, and then he gets merged in with Maximilian. Wasn't Maximilian? Well, wasn't Maximilian the name of the robot? I think it was. Yeah, I watch that one every now and then. Black Hole, which is actually a vampire movie when you think about it. You know what I'm talking about? They're going into Dracula's. Yeah. They're going to Dracula's castle.
I think we even said that. We reviewed that a long time ago, but it's like, I think we even said it's like a haunted house story in space.
And the what's his name? Dr. fucking... The guy who's stolen the ship.
Shit, I can't remember now.
He's created the undead.
I saw that in the theater when I was little.
I saw it in the theater when I was a kid, yeah. He's basically created the undead. He's turned all the fucking crew into cybernetic zombies, I guess. And then he's creating his own fucking robot servants. This devil-like creature. And that ship, I think it was called the Cygnus, I think is what it was called, wasn't it? The Cygnus?
Yeah.
One of the ships was called the Cygnus.
That sounds right.
I think maybe their ship was the Cygnus.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was theirs or the one that came later.
Yeah. But that model was really cool.
It was, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of the toys from that when I was growing up, too, because that was a big deal. Like, I had the record album with the that like read the story.
Yeah,
and like,
I had a
music
model
from
of
it.
Vincent. He was about this big, and Bob.
Yeah, I think we had those too. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, built them and made it.
There was a lot of merch for that.
Yeah, and then was it what was the name? The Pegasus was one of them, and then the Cygnus. I think the Cygnus is the one that the doctor had, the big one.
That means swan, doesn't it?
I don't know.
I think it does.
But that was basically Dracula's castle, kind of like a haunted castle, and it was pretty cool. It was a haunted spaceship. Yeah.
It was cool. Like, the look of it is super cool.
Yeah, it had good ambiance. The movie had a good vibe.
It does. I liked it a lot better. I didn't love it as a kid because I was more a horror girl. I think I saw it when I was 7 or something. But even back then, I was more a horror girl than a sci-fi. But I remember some images from it like really sticking with me, and I had a bunch of the toys and stuff. But like rewatching it, I was like, well, this is actually more like a horror movie than a sci-fi movie.
It's a very soft horror movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, obviously kids could watch it.
Yeah.
Although there's some kind of fucked up shit in it. I was surprised.
Turning people into zombies.
It's kind of gory. Like, not gory, but for a movie that's aimed at kids-ish, it's kind of gory.
Yeah. The letdown in it was that the doctor created that whole army of robots. And you could tell that they were created just so they could have some laser gun fights so they could compete with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they had some laser gun fights, and the robots were fucking cheesy. They were worse than the stormtroopers. They just stand there and fall over. You know, just.
I'm just gonna stand here and let you shoot me.
Yeah,
How about that?
Yeah.
Although I kind of feel like the entire 80s, like, cheap-ass movies, like, action movies were kind of like that. Like, dude's like, I'm just going to stand here and let you punch me.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm not even going to move out of the way or try to fight back or anything.
So the laser fights really weren't all that impressive. Another thing that that fucking sucked about it is that as they're going into the fucking black hole, the crew, the biological members of the crew, leave the spaceship and go into outer space and get into one of the escape pods or escape craft. Remember that? Yeah. Without spacesuits on. They make it.
Yeah, loved that. And I was like, they walked out and I was like, you can't do that.
Yeah, and they're going outside. They're outside, you know, and turns out they had spacesuits for that scene. The actors didn't want to wear them. So the director's like, okay, yeah, you don't have to wear them.
Nobody will see our pretty faces.
Yeah. You don't have to wear them.
They're like, bro, you're going to have those spacesuits on for like 5 seconds. Yeah. Like, calm down. Everyone has seen your faces through the whole movie. It's fine.
And I guess the rationale was, well, they're close to the black hole, and space and time are not quite the same. You can breathe here. It's all right. It's not like normal outer space.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a bubble of oxygen.
It's a bubble of oxygen
somehow,
around the ship.
Around a black hole, as everyone knows, happens all the time.
Sense.
Of course not. But like back then, everybody's just like, oh, okay, that sounds reasonable. Like I said, I think we were talking before about like all the bullshit science that was like in all those 50s movies. Yeah. The heart is one single cell. I'm just like, no.
Well, even in the black hole, that scientist chick said, yes, our mission is to find habitable life. What the fuck is
That's
habitable fucking life?
That's right.
A habitable planet, you mean?
Yeah. It's like what life you can live on?
Life you can live on.
Well, you gonna find like a little kitty or something you can live on top of the kitty? Like a flea living on a kitty?
I also think there's more than one cut. Or there's more than one version of the black hole, because in some of the versions of the black hole, you could see the lines, the wires that they're hanging from in the zero-G shots. Yeah. In other ones, in my version, you can't see them. Yeah,
you can't see it on ours, but I have heard about like some people that reviewed some of the higher def versions of it said, they were really obvious.
Okay, yeah.
In some versions, but you can't see it in ours, so I don't really know what the problem is there. Well, I don't remember being able to see them last time we watched it.
You couldn't see them when you were in the theater.
No, of course not. Because like I said, I saw it when I was a kid, but...
It looked good when I was a kid. I was like, "Man, this movie."
Man, that whole that scene with that fireball like coming up while they're oh my god, that scared the fucking crap out of me when I was.
When they were first coming up on the Cygnus and it was all dark and their searchlights were hitting it and it was like you were looking at something out underwater. You're like, "Oh, it's scary in there."
Yeah. And
they go in there, and it was deserted. Yeah, it was a spooky flick for the day when you were a kid.
I'm pretty sure that's why my family took me to see it, because I was into scary shit from birth, I think. As long as I can remember. As soon as I could read, because I learned to read when I was very young. I learned to read when I was about 2, and that's all I wanted was ghost stories.
Yeah.
Stories about ghosts and witches. That was my favorite. And it's just like, that's all I ever wanted to read.
Oh shit, man. I forgot. I missed all kinds of shit.
You missed all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Phantom says, speaking of Barbarella, I watched a 1980 film by the same director of Barbarella called Night Games. I've heard of that. I don't remember if I've seen it. I probably have, because it seems like something that would have been on cable a lot. Cindy Pickett and Joanna Cassidy. See, that sounds familiar. It was okay. It was like a discount version of Emmanuel from the 70s. Now, for sure, seen a bunch of the Emmanuel movies. Mango's talking about Silent Running. I remember that being really good.
Darren.
We should probably review that because I
haven't
seen it in such a long time, and I remember it being really good.
Silent Running was a forgotten 70s space flick that had decent special effects, had decent robots in it, and it was Bruce Dern, and he's in this orbital spacecraft. There's other orbital spacecrafts out there with him. And the craft has these big domes with clear glass, and it's got the Earth's vegetation preserved in it. It's got fucking deserts and forests and jungles and animals and all the plants and shit. And the Earth is so fucking used up and toxic, it's not a safe place to keep all this stuff. So they're keeping it in orbit. Bruce Dern's, he's a real greeny guy. He would have been like a hippie. back in the 70s. You know, it's kind of like he's a hippie guy.
He always kind of played hippie.
Yeah, he played those kind of characters.
Not always, but yeah.
Somebody's played bad guys in fucking
Western
Western flicks. He can play a real scumball. I remember my dad was scared of Bruce Dern. He says, "Man, that guy, I'm scared of him."
He comes across as like
creepy.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
He always came across as kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good actor though, but he always comes across as slightly crazy.
So, the Bruce Dern's character, I don't remember what his name was in the movie. He's all into taking care of the forest that he's watching.
Well, that's good.
He's growing plants and growing fruit. And he's eating it. And the other part of the crew are like making fun of him. Like, what do you give a shit about all this stuff for? You know, like, yeah, this is real fucking cantaloupe.
Food,
taste this shit. And they're like, you know. He goes, this
we just like the pills.
Yeah, you guys are like, this all this synthetic crap. That's not fucking real food. And they just think of him as like he's just some crazy dude that he cares about all this forest. Well, they get a message. They've been out there for years. You know, probably gone on for a long time. They get a message back from Earth saying, look, for budgetary constraints, we can't afford to hold all this shit anymore, so just chuck it. Throw it out into space, detonate it so it doesn't become a hazard out there to the other spaceships. And the other spaceships fucking do, man, they jettison all kinds of fucking fucking, what do you call it? Fucking biospheres that they had in these fucking things. And the Bruce Dern character, he's going fucking crazy. He's going, there's no way I'm going to let him fucking
I don't blame him.
Destroy this shit in here. So he goes crazy, kills the other crew, and buries them out there. And he becomes friends with the robot. And he becomes friends with these robots. And they're cool robots. They're dudes that don't have any arms or legs. They're paraplegics from Vietnam, and they got them in these characters and running around, walking on their hands. They look really good. They're like a precursor to R2-D2. They actually look more practical than R2-D2. And
well, a little person was also inside R2-D2.
Yeah, but R2-D2 doesn't look like something that would actually work in the real world because it has to roll. I mean, that can't go up and down stairs and shit, and it can't go across dirt.
Yeah, that would be a little impractical.
But
I mean, in the movie he kind of does, but
they're faking it.
In real life, no, he wouldn't be able to.
So, what's his name? That Bruce Dern's character, he decides a way of tricking the Earth into thinking that he got lost in a storm and it got blown off and not to look for him and that the ship was destroyed. But he actually killed his friends. They never were his friends. They were just the other three or
some
four
assholes
guys
he worked with.
Yeah, they were like 3 or 4 assholes he worked with.
Yeah, who cares?
And I remember the ship being like something kind of out of Alien 1, about like that level. I remember it being pretty good. You had these little 6-wheeled fucking electric go-karts running around. Eventually they find his ass, though. I don't remember exactly what happens. I think he kills himself when they find him. But he jettisons the fucking pod that had the fucking forest in it, and the robots were in there taking care of the forest. That's how it ended.
Because robots are better than people.
Yeah, for an eternity, the robots would be taking care of the forest.
True. Yeah, I haven't seen that in ages, but I remember that being like really good.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty good.
And I kind of feel like a lot of people haven't seen it.
Yeah, Silent Running.
Yeah. Was it a British film, I want to say?
No, I think it was American.
I thought it was a British movie, but maybe I could be wrong.
It had an American cast.
Well, that doesn't mean anything necessarily.
Yeah, maybe.
But so, yeah, I always thought it was a British movie. I don't know why I thought that.
And I think it had fucking that famous American singer chick, folk singer. I think she's the one that she did the fucking.
Help me narrow it down.
Oh man, Joan Baez maybe. I think she did some of the music. Did like the theme song for it. Might have been Joan Baez.
All right, now I have to. Yeah. I don't remember that. It's been so long since I've seen that. Murder Hornet brings up Soylent Green. Yeah, we just rewatched Soylent Green. Yeah, we have it. We just rewatched that. I don't remember if we did a review on it. Did we?
Yeah.
Maybe we did, but I don't remember if we did or not. But I remember like rewatching it not too long. It's not as good as I remembered. It's not as good as Omega Man or a lot of the other like 70s kind of post-apocalyptic kind of movies. I kind of like Planet of the Apes is the other one that's kind of a closer approximation, I guess. But I think Soylent Green suffers once you know what the twist is.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody knows.
Once you know what Soylent Green is, it's not
that it's like, oh, they're eating people. So it's just like, so the whole time you're just like, it's people. It's people. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, I kind of felt like that when we were watching it. So it's one of those movies that you can't, it's not super rewatchable, I feel.
No.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it again. Maybe I was in a bad mood when I rewatched it. Yeah, Phantom said, yeah, you did. I was there for that review. I thought we had, because I remember watching it, like, not too long ago. Well, not too long ago could be as up to 5 years ago, because it's just all, it's all
a blur when you get to
it's
our
all
age.
a blur. When you're as old as we are, everything is just kind of a blur. I was like, yeah, we just did that the other day. That was like 6 years ago. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like, it's fine.
The older you get, the faster it goes by.
Yeah, and it just seems like...
And it might be a good thing.
I mean, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, like, when I think about it. But I know some people freak out about it, but it's just, I don't know. It doesn't bother me all that much. I guess because I'm not, like, if I was telling you this the other day, I'm not, like, a super nostalgic person. You know what I mean? I'm not just kind of like, oh, remember this and that and the other. Oh, I wish I could go back to this time or that time. No, thanks.
Joseph says it's Joe Baez, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you got it.
You got it right, yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, she's doing some kind of nature song at the end. Ends with her.
A nature song.
Yeah, she's, you know, she's like, you know, and the trees are flying in the trees. You know, and she's like,
Wait, was that Rush?
I don't know. I was almost Geddy Lee when it.
You sounded like Rush there. And the trees don't know their feelings, or whatever the fuck that is. That's Rush, right?
I could not stand Rush because of Geddy Lee's voice. I fucking hated it. The
yeah.
music was good, but as soon as he started singing, I was like, nah, I can't listen to it.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan. I know some people like Rush, and I'm not shitting on you or anything like that, but it's just like, I just couldn't get into it.
It's not so much the high pitched thing. I just didn't like him because fucking shit, man. Some dudes could really rock that. I mean, I fucking love fucking King Diamond from fucking Merciful Fate, and he's channeling men's voices, women's voices, children's voices. You can't, you don't know
alien
who's
voices.
singing. Yeah, it's all satanic. Fucking sounds like he's possessed. King Diamond, Merciful Fate was good, man. I can't believe that first album, that debut album, was as good as it was. Melissa, man, it was a good album. It's not hard by today's standards. It's looking back on it, listening it to today was about like Iron Maiden was, but it just had a fucking sinister fucking feel to it. His voice and the album covers.
It's weird thinking about it because you listen to like Iron Maiden nowadays, or Judas Priest or whatever. Because we still have a bunch of Judas Priest on my phones. We listen to
that's not
the
even
car
hard
a lot.
today.
And if you listen to it now, it just sounds like just
Any
regular
old
rock music.
Yeah.
But I guess like back in the day, there was like a huge.
Yeah, it was a big difference.
And I kind of remember that too. Like, people were really into their little musical things, even though like from today's standpoint it kind of all sounds, it doesn't sound the same, but it sounds similar, so it doesn't really sound like there's a huge difference. Like there is not a huge difference between say Judas Priest and say, I don't know, like some southern rock kind of shit. So it's just funny to me that there was like such a huge gap in understanding between people that listen to both of those kinds of music, because they're really not that different. And honestly, like now people would just listen to both of those and no one would bat an eyelash. So I don't really know. Yeah, Phantom says, actually, maybe you didn't. I think you just talked about it because I'm not seeing it. Yeah, see, I didn't think we did a review of it. I remember watching it because we bought it. And then we were going to review it. And then for whatever reason, we didn't. Like, we got another movie or something. Like, there's a lot of reasons why that might have happened. But I just remember rewatching, because I saw it a bunch of times when I was younger. And I remember liking it, but not being as into it as like Planet of the Apes or Omega Man or anything, because those are the kind of the two movies I associate with it because of, Charlton Heston, obviously. But I remember not liking it as much. And then when we rewatched it, I was kind of like, oh, I remember why I didn't like this one as much, because a lot of it is kind of boring. And then if you already know the big reveal, then it's just, the whole thing is just kind of a waiting game of like, yeah, when is he going to figure it out type of shit. Because you already know, you know what I mean? So it's like, maybe that's what it is. Phantom says, if you like witch films, then you might like the 1969 film Mark of the Witch about some college kids that accidentally read. Okay, Danny recommended that movie. And I started watching, it was on Freevee. So I actually started watching it yesterday. I got about 20 minutes in and I was like, nah. It was just, I don't know. The acting was like really bad. I don't know if I was just like in a bad mood or something, but I was like, I might revisit it later on because it is on Freevee. So I don't have to pay to watch it. But I don't know. I started watching it and I couldn't get into it. So I'll revisit it at some other time. when I'm in a different mood, I guess. But yeah. So, okay. I'm Danny. All right. So, well, that's why you're the same person. I didn't love it. But I'll revisit it later. I promise. Because I do like witch movies. But it's like the acting in it, I couldn't get past it.
Somebody asked if we like The Craft. Yeah, we like The Craft.
Oh my god, I love The Craft. We did a review of that a while back.
Yeah.
Probably a few years ago.
Although Fairuza was the best part of the movie, you ask me.
I mean, everybody says that. Yeah. She fucking stole that shit. And the thing about it is that this is a prime example to me of how people that are like good guys in movies, like the protagonists, are boring. It's always like the bad guys that are way better. Because like the chick that played the good girl in this was like lame.
Me and Jen were doing a horror convention one time, selling some of her books. I was getting some coffee, and right behind me was Fairuza Balk, and I didn't know.
Yeah, she was there.
I didn't recognize her.
I had seen her earlier.
She's lost a lot of weight. She's thin. She's real thin.
Yeah, she still looks pretty much the same. Like, I recognized her from the balcony. Like, I saw her coming out of the thing, like, on the lower floor, and I was like, hey, there's Fairuza.
I always expect her to have that black hair, and she just has brown hair. And
she just has regular hair.
She looks like a regular person, yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. She doesn't look like the Nancy character, like all gothed out or anything. But that's the thing. I just like, I kind of feel like why a lot of people, especially like a lot of goths and stuff like that, like related to that movie was that because you kind of got, I mean, Nancy was like kind of an asshole, like, and she was kind of crazy, but you understood like why she did what she did. Like everybody fucked with her, man. Yeah. And she just got sick of it. And she's like, well, I got powers, so I'm just going to, like, fucking... Which, I don't blame her. Shit, man. Yeah. I don't blame her at all. And, like, some of the stuff that they did to the people in the movie, I was just kind of like, you had that coming. Yeah. You had that coming. I wasn't upset about it at all. So, you know what I mean. But, yeah, that's a great movie. Yeah, Fairuza is awesome. She is, actually. And she was in...
She was playing with the little children and shit.
She was also in that, that Masters of Horror episode, Pick Me Up.
I don't remember that one.
The one that was... It was two serial killers. They were, like, competing serial killers, and she was, like, the victim. They were both trying to get her.
I didn't see it.
You did see it, because you watched that whole series, but it was a while back. Remember the Masters of Horror series?
Yeah. Only
Came out, like, in the mid-2000s?
The one that really got me out of that series was the
Screwfly Solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his favorite one.
That one scared me. About the aliens decided to wipe out the human race by fucking putting some kind of damn bioweapon into the atmosphere that caused all the men to become cross-wired to where sexual attraction caused fucking violence. So they killed all the women.
Right.
It was based upon what things you could do to insects.
So it's like if everybody became a serial killer, essentially.
All dudes became serial killers.
Like if they all had the same mindset.
They're stalking their daughters and killing them. They're killing their wives and their moms. Fucking, yeah. And fucking all the dudes on the planet were like trying to hide it from one another. Judges letting people go for murder and cops not arresting other dudes because he killed a woman. Like, oh, it's okay, I understand. And then at the end of it...
Bitches be crazy.
And at the end of it, it's nothing but women out in the wilderness hiding from fucking, most of the women are dead. There's women hiding.
Holy crap, man.
And it's dudes running around in hunting parties with little boys as love objects. Little boy, remember that?
Yeah.
They were all holding the little boys up as... Oh, yeah. They were
Which
like,
that is pretty terrifying because it's like,
And then
that would be like if everybody took Tren. That would be like I'd be doing. Like I'd be hiding out in the fucking woods too.
Yeah, and they were doing hunting expeditions, and they had the little boys with them. They were hunting down women when they were hiding out in the woods. They were fucking hunting rifles and shit. And then once all the women were dead, the aliens showed up. And when the dudes saw the aliens, they just walked towards them. They thought they were angels, and the aliens just killed them. And the aliens killed them by reducing them into a little gelatinous cube, and they fed the little cubes to the animals. Yeah.
Dudes are morons. The story.
Well, it was something that they had done to their hormones.
Yeah.
Remember that they couldn't resist the aliens. They saw them. They thought they were beautiful. Remember, they would just walk towards them. Like, oh wow!
Yay, save us!
Yay,
We're gonna turn you into Giallo shot.
Yeah, turn them into Giallo shots. And then they fed the Giallo shots to the dogs. They did kind of look like.
I did like.
They did kind of look like. They glowed and they kind of had little wings and they did kind of look like little fairies.
Well, they're probably like, well, this is what they'd want us to look like. It's like, look, we're all magical and angelic. And
yeah. Like little,
come here.
They got little elves
dummies. Yeah. You did all our hard work for us. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's like pretty funny. Joseph says, I'm surprised The Craft wasn't made into a TV series. Yeah, it never was. Not so far.
There's not much more. You can't.
Well,
what are you gonna do with that?
Well, I mean, there's a whole thing you could do with just the general coven of witches in a high school thing. I mean, you could make a whole series out of that.
Well, they kind of had that. What was it? Sabrina the Teenage Witch. They had fucking.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is supposed to be like a reboot of Bewitched that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I think it was wasn't it Sabrina the Teenage Witch? I think it was
yeah.
It was kind of like.
That was on for a while, I feel like.
Yeah, and then they had fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was kind of like that.
Which was based on that movie that came out in the 90s with Pee Wee Herman and... What's her name that was in it? That was also in Deadly
I actually
Friend.
saw a few of the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I thought it was pretty good at the time. I was like, this is bad.
People love that fucking show.
Yeah.
Like the one with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
I even like the original movie that it was based on, and I don't even know if a lot of people know it was based on a movie, but it was. But the series is beloved. That was Joss Whedon.
There's a real good series that you can't hardly get anymore. You can only get the shit used DVDs. It was who was the dude that did fucking Alias 2? Big director.
James Cameron.
James Cameron. It was a television series, or at least a cable series, made by James Cameron called Dark Angel, and it had a fucking, what was her name? Oh shit!
Oh,
you'll remember.
No. Shit.
You never hear.
I can see her face. I can see her face.
She's kind of Latina, kind of looking.
I see her face, and I can't.
Jessica Alba.
There you go.
Yeah, she's in it. And I saw about 7 or 8 of those when I could catch it, and I thought they were great. And I saw like the first 4, 5, 6, and then I saw some later because I missed some of them. And I wanted to buy that series on DVD. But they're like a collector's items, man. They want like $100 for that fucking series.
Well,
you know. But she was a genetically engineered super soldier or something. She was like this chick in her early 20s who had all these special acrobatic abilities, riding around on I guess it was a Ninja 650, black leather outfits, and she was good with guns, and she had fucking. She was saying it was cat DNA in her, but I don't think she might have been part animal. I don't remember.
Still like a Catwoman.
It's kind of like Catwoman.
Sure.
Kind of like Catwoman, but kind of like also kind of reminded me in a way of a female $6 Million Man. She was doing secret agent stuff.
Well, they had $6 Million Woman, right?
The Bionic Woman.
The Bionic Woman.
Yeah.
Lindsay Wagner.
Yeah. There's just something about it kind of reminded me of the $6 Million Man.
Mm.
Yeah, she was part of some special project. It was defense contractors made her, and they were having her do some. It almost kind of had elements of Knight Rider in a way too, kind of. I don't know, just kind of the vibe it had.
Didn't it?
Yeah, I want to see it again though.
I just heard the theme song in my head.
As good as I remembered it. I remembered it being real good.
It's got to be someplace. Nobody's streaming it.
They were selling used ones on fucking Amazon for I think $100 for the
I'll check
series.
the streaming shit. We have so much streaming shit.
I don't know if it's on there. I don't know if Dark Angel's on there.
I don't know. We can find it. Maybe somebody like uploaded it to YouTube. That happens.
I think it's copyrighted.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't stop people.
Yeah.
You just gotta have to like get away with it for a while. Murder Hornet said Linnea Quigley, yummy. Oh, I agree. I met her one time at a horror convention. She is a lovely, lovely person. She's a lovely person.
Well,
she was the one that was in
Oh, she was the one in fucking Night of the Living Dead, or
no. No. She was in Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama. She was in.
She's the chick that just did nudes a lot, right?
Well, yeah, that.
Yeah. She was in Return of the Living Dead.
She was in Return. Yes, she was in Return of the Living Dead. She was on the gravestone. That was probably her most famous role.
Yeah, she was smoking hot. Yeah.
She was also in Night of the Demon.
Yeah.
Night of the Demons. You know.
Yeah.
The one figure. Where she had like she was dressed as Little Bo Peep.
Yeah.
And the famous shot where she's like in the convenience store and like leans over and like shows her butt and you know what I mean.
She had a great figure.
But and she seemed like a cool chick. Like she really liked horror. She really just she leaned into that Scream Queen thing, because I know that like a lot of actresses are like, oh well, this is their jumping off point and they don't really want to do that, but it's like she really seemed to like horror.
Yeah, you looked at her and you would think she would be like moonlighting as a top-notch porn star, but she wasn't. She just did horror movies.
Yeah,
and
she always seemed like super funny.
She understood the genre. She didn't care about taking her clothes off. But if you're a girl built like that, you shouldn't be caring about taking your clothes off. You're gonna make money with that. Everybody love, you know what I mean? Come on.
Well, most people like rented movies just if she was in it.
Yeah, she was a big.
But like I said, I just always thought she seemed really cool. Yeah. And I always really liked people that, because like I said, even nowadays it's better than it was back in the day. But I kind of feel like back in the day, horror movies were still kind of like shit on, kind of. So it's like people would do them like when they were first starting out, but it's like, yeah, I don't want to
shit on.
I don't want to do that anymore. It's like I want to do serious roles or blah blah, and then it's like they didn't really want to do it. So I really respect actors that are like, nah, I like this genre. I'm just gonna do horror movies and just lean into being a horror actor. Like I have a lot more respect for people doing that.
They were shit on by our parents and grandparents' generation.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't shit on by our generation or the people like.
That's what I mean. It's gotten a lot better nowadays. A lot better.
Because
I don't think people that are younger nowadays understand like how shit on like horror movies were back in the old days.
The boomers and the greatest generation, or our parents and grandparents, they didn't grow up watching horror movies.
No.
So they were just like an alien culture to them. They were unacceptable. They were gross. Oh no. They were soft, man. For such a tough fucking, supposedly tough generation, they were soft about shit like that. Oh, that's not acceptable. You're not supposed to show people that. It's just their thinking, you know.
So weird.
Yeah, weird.
It's so weird.
But some people liked it because they had shit going on in the 20s and the 30s, like the Black Cat.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like you had to keep it more on the DL back then because it's like it really wasn't acceptable.
Right. So we grew up watching that shit. So we didn't have the same impression that our parents and grandparents did. We were just like, yeah, that's a fucking bizarre movie. Remember that? Wow, wow. I'm trying to think of the first horror movie I ever saw. I think it probably was... First horror movie I saw was fucking Night of Living Dead. I saw it on television, the black and white one. I was a little kid. I liked it, but it fucking scared me.
The first one I remember...
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't even know. The first one I kind of remember was Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Some of the first horror I think
which is kind of a zombie movie.
Would have been Twilight Zone. Some of that.
Yeah, because I used to really like... Because like I said, when I was a little kid, as long as I can remember, like from when I could read, from when I was aware of shit, I loved scary shit. Like, even if it was just like a kid's show, if they did like a Halloween episode or an episode, we're going to the haunted castle, ooh, I was like so jacked. Like, so I kind of feel like, I don't know, man, it's like in my DNA or something. I don't know where I got that from because neither of my parents are into that kind of stuff. But, I don't know. I was just kind of like born like that. I just came out and I was just kind of like, I just want to watch ghosts and witches and scary shit. And that's all I can remember. I was just always really into that stuff.
All right, Jeff Yard says, I remember Dark Angel on the Fox Network. That's right, Fox Network. They supposedly concluded the story in a series of novels. Then he says, yes, it was feline DNA because she would go into heat every 3 months. They had an entire
Only
episode,
every 3 months, not every day.
No,
oh
every
my
3
goodness!
Months. They had an entire episode addressed.
Okay.
In
it's like Ponfar.
Yeah, you should go to Ponfar. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I want to see the whole thing. I only saw like maybe 7, 8, 9 episodes.
I don't think I ever saw it. Like, I remember I was aware of it because I remember maybe seeing ads for it when it came out, but I don't think I ever watched it.
Had a young Jessica Alba. She was probably maybe about 22, 23 in it.
Jeffy Art also said people argue that Charmed was a spiritual successor to The Craft. Yeah, it was, in a large way. I liked Charmed. I saw some episodes of it, and that seemed pretty fun, for that kind of thing. It was kind of more soap opera-y than I would have watched, but I liked every now and then when I saw an episode.
Wonder what happened to Jessica Alba. Haven't heard of her in a long time.
Yeah, is she still around? Is she still around? Murder Hornet said Karen Black is a hottie.
Yeah, she always was.
Karen Black,
sexy
man.
Ass Karen
See,
Black.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Sexy.
Karen Black is like, she's not
She was sexy when she was old.
She's not, and she's not something that you would call like classically beautiful. But there's something about her that's like super sexy.
Karen
Beautiful and sexy, like I said, are two different things. Sometimes it overlaps.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to slightly disagree with you.
Well, no, I'm trying to get across.
Good looking.
Yeah.
She was. She was a lot like a harder edged version of fucking Elizabeth Montgomery. They had a lot of that same facial structure. She just had a little more meat on her. She had that like weird eye thing. Yeah, her one eye was slightly lazy, so she was kind of like the parallel universe bad girl version of fucking.
But see, I like
Elizabeth
that though. Like I like that you have like a gap between your teeth or like some shit. Like that's kind of hot though.
Yeah.
Because it's like it just.
There are some imperfections there.
Yeah.
That they were the right.
If you look too good. Then you
look
just
like a mannequin.
Then you just look like all the other ones because they all look like that.
Yeah.
You need something that kind of like stands out. You need a distinctive feature. So she kind of had that weird eye thing, and she had like that. I don't know. She had like a whole vibe. Yeah. I'll watch anything Karen Black is in. I love her. Yeah. I love her. If you guys have not seen The Strange Possession of Mrs. Oliver, which was like a 70s TV movie, I recommend that to everybody. I loved that fucking movie. It's like, I don't know if I'd call it a horror movie. It's more like a thriller, but I was super into it. And like it had all these twists and turns that I totally did not guess. Maybe you guys would guess them, but I did not. I did like a whole super long like blog post and video about it like a long time ago. And it was written by Richard Matheson also. So there's also that. If you need that. I saw it on YouTube. I don't know if it's still on there anymore. Because it's kind of hard to get hold of nowadays. Let's see.
Trilogy of Terror, yeah. She was
so good.
Karen Black in that, yeah.
Yeah, and she was in all the stories, like playing different characters.
Karen aged well. As she got older, she got curvier.
She just seemed so fucking cool.
Even
she
in
just
the House
seemed
of
cool.
1,000 Corpses, she's kind of beat up, looking on purpose. She's still attractive.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Like man, that's
still hit.
She looks bad, but. I like a bad girl like that. Okay. That might be fun. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. She always kind of like gave. That's what I mean about like there's two different. Beautiful and sexy are two different things. Like I said, sometimes they overlap, but not always. She's also beautiful, but in a way that's like just her own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of into Karen Black. I love her.
Here's a pretty picture of a young Karen Black. You see what I'm talking about? She did have a little bit of an Elizabeth Montgomery level, but she's a little more voluptuous. She's a little, and she's not fat. She's just got more meat on her. She looks a little curvier.
And Mango brings up Burnt Offerings, which I was just going to bring up. Oh, Burnt Offerings is one of my favorite horror movies from the 70s. And the book is good, too, if you haven't read it. The book's kind of different. I actually did a video comparing the book and the movie. But they're not that different, but the book has like a lot more front loaded with the Rolfe family like before they go to the house. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's pretty similar.
I mean, y'all can look at that. I mean, come on. That's going to be a lot of fun. She's bad, but not so bad that you're going to kick her out of bed. You just,
that's kind of a bad girl, which I like that.
See, Tom likes bad girls, but not so bad, that they're going to like fuck you over and steal all your money.
Not so bad that they're going to embarrass you.
Right. He likes them bad up to a point.
Up to a certain point.
Sure. I get it. That lazy eye, LOL.
Yeah,
I'm kind of into that, though. I like that. Like I said, if you can work a lazy eye or a big gap in your teeth or some kind of quote-unquote imperfection and just work it and be like, yeah, I got this, fuck that. But it's like, that's like way sexy to me.
An old Karen Black from House of 1,000 Corpses with sort of yellow teeth and shit. Still hot. Come on, man.
Still pretty hot.
Yeah, still
not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yep. Also from that same movie, older Karen Black, still cute.
I mean, she looks almost unchanged.
Yeah.
She didn't really change all that much.
No, she's just a little thicker, which there's more meat there now.
Tom likes that.
I like that.
Tom likes meat.
Yeah.
Murder Hornet said, "Hey, and that lazy eye didn't matter. It absolutely did not. Absolutely did not.
I think it added something to
That's
it.
what I mean. I kind of feel like that added to the allure a little bit. Why did it get darker in here?
I don't know. Did it? It didn't get darker in here.
It did. Look. Did some shit go off? It looked
Oops.
like some shit. Oh, okay.
No.
Maybe you were just blocking the backlight or something. Okay. It just got like really dark in here, and it was like really weird for a second. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I was kind of like, I always liked that there was some kind of like imperfection, but you kind of like twisted it around.
There's a good shot of Karen's eye.
To, I can't see that.
She's got a slightly lazy eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's older Karen.
I still think probably Burnt Offerings is the best thing that she was in.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
See if I can find a picture of her from Burnt Offerings.
I love that movie. That is like one of my favorite haunted, and I love haunted house movies. That's my favorite subgenre. And that is one of my favorite haunted house movies. It's so good. And I was like if people haven't seen it, because maybe younger people haven't seen it, like because it came out in the 70s and stuff. I always recommend it. It's like, please watch Burnt Offerings.
There's
it's
Karen
from
Burnt Offerings. Look how cute she was. Yeah.
That's when she started going like.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I love that fucking movie.
Here's a black and white from.
I've seen that movie probably 100 times, and I've read the book a bunch of times too, probably 5 times.
Here's a black and white from that movie when you can see the
eye. That sexy ass eye action. The eye is a little bit wonky, but it looks cute.
Like I said, I kind of feel like, and like I said, I don't know if it's just because I'm a girl, so I'm like looking at other women, but it's just kind of like, I like people that can take something that in most circumstances would be a detriment, I guess, if you want to call it that, and like work it to their advantage.
It was just a little signature that she had. My dad liked her.
Yeah, that's like super hot to me.
My dad liked her. Hot. My dad thought she was super sexy.
Yeah.
Because of that
she
eye.
Is.
Yeah.
She is.
And it was because of that eye. He goes, that looks, that's sexy. He liked that.
Yeah. So even dudes get it.
Yeah.
Even dudes get it. But I get it too. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I get that. Because I kind of like people that are, and even like whoever it is, like people that I find sexually alluring, it's not usually people that are, A-list, perfect looking. I don't find that attractive. They all kind of look the same to me. I can't tell one from the other. I want somebody that's like distinctive. And like I said, if you can take something that normally would be a detriment, or people would make fun of it or whatever, and like make that an advantage and like make that work for you, that's like makes that like way sexier to me. Way sexier. So the fact that she had, and it's not really that noticeable, honestly.
No.
Like the lazy eye that she had. But
a very young Karen Black.
And it's like, and it's not even pictures of her, because it's just, I kind of feel like you have to see her in action to get the full.
Well, she had a good personality.
Good like vibe. That's what I mean. It's just kind of like, it's not so much like the pictures of her that are hot. It's just kind of like the way that she was, like the way that she was in movies. Like that really appealed to me, I think. The Phantom says Karen Black was in a Children of the Corn film.
Yeah, I think she might have been.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I like the first Children of the Corn movie. It's terrible.
It's a low budget flick, but it's kind of satisfying in a certain way.
And it's nothing. Well, I'm not going to say it's nothing like the story, but it's a lot different than the short story. I'm going to say that. But it's a good movie. It's a little cheesy, but that's okay.
Shit, I like fucking Rawhead Rex. As bad as that was. That's an Irish horror movie called Rawhead Rex.
I kind of wish...
Something about it, I liked it.
Poor Clive Barker. He wrote that movie. He didn't direct it.
Yeah.
That was one of them, because he had written a couple movies prior to Hellraiser. He wrote that movie, and then somebody else directed it, and he was so upset by how that had come out that he's like, fuck this, I'm going to direct my own movies. And then he did Hellraiser, which obviously was much, much better than Rawhead Rex. Rawhead Rex, I kind of feel like that would have been a good movie if the monster didn't have googly eyes.
Yeah. Well, the monster was the problem, but I liked the rest of the movie.
If the monster had looked different, had they had a different special effects artist to do a scarier looking monster that didn't look like it looked like, then
I was a kid.
Then that would have been a good movie because it was a good concept. The acting was good, like everything, but that monster I couldn't get
in Ireland.
I couldn't get past it.
It was happening
I
in
couldn't
Ireland.
get past it.
Well, actually, we saw that shit on fucking VHS when it came out. I was living up in Michigan. We were in high school. Me and fucking Jason Quinlan and Steve Rouse are my fucking high school buddies up there. We saw that shit down in fucking Steve's basement on the fucking VHS on the old CRT television. And really, we didn't give a fuck about the monster. The thing that we liked about the movie was the priest.
Yeah.
Okay?
I get
that
it.
Priest is fucking... When that fucking Rawhead Rex monster came up and pissed on that priest, he's going,
like,
yeah, baptize me, baptize me. We were just like, whoa,
that's
this movie,
fucked up.
Yeah, that whole fucking...
It went there.
That sold it to us. We're like, this is some weird shit.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
I get it.
This is the same era where we're just starting to discover H.P. Lovecraft.
Sure.
So it went right along with some of that Lovecraftian shit.
Right,
And there was some kind of secret with the fucking... The stained glass window that had to make a beam that went into something else in the church, which unlocked something. We thought that was cool. But I remember seeing it again. There wasn't much to that. But in those days, when you're a teenager, you're like fucking... You're more easily impressed.
I feel like a really good movie could be made from that short story.
Oh, yeah.
A really good one. Like, way better than that. Because that is a great concept. The problem I feel... and I've talked about this, like Stephen King, his stuff, you know, he has some adaptations of his stuff that are classics. He has some stuff that is mostly middling. He has some stuff that's really shitty. Clive Barker, I kind of feel like he really only has 2 or 3 good adaptations of his work. Those being Hellraiser, Candyman, which he did not direct, and maybe Midnight Meat Train, which was actually a decent film that was based on one of his short stories. Other than that, I kind of feel like Clive Barker is so... If you read his shit, it's so out there that it's hard to translate to film. I will say that, like, even though I started reading Stephen King as a very young child, it was actually Clive Barker that made me want to be a horror writer. I read Books of Blood when I was probably too young to read it, 11 or 12, and I said, this is what I want to do right here, what this motherfucker is doing.
There was one book that I read of his, it was a long time ago now. I don't even remember the name of it. This dude comes out of prison and he works for this rich guy. And this rich guy is fucking using him as like a groundskeeper or something, but then he starts to try to seduce him too over time. But this rich guy, he's super like a fucking billionaire. He's involved with this cult of other billionaires that have these wild ass sex parties in the house. And in the sex parties, it's people having sex with each other, demons, ghosts, animals, the spirits of animals, and they're giving birth to children. And I think, if I remember correctly, they might have been spiritual children that are like mixtures of all of them. They're like, it's like they're giving birth to these ghosts that are part human and demon and animal all together. What was the name of that one? You remember?
It kind of sounds like the Damnation game, but I'm not really sure.
That might be Damnation. It might sound.
I haven't read that in a long time.
That sounds real familiar. It might have been Damnation game.
I have that somewhere.
Yeah. I think that might have been what it was.
But I haven't read it for a long time.
And I don't remember how it ended.
I
remember the dude was just like thinking his boss was fucking crazy, and his boss was trying to get him into these fucking weird sex parties with the demons and the animals and the fucking ghosts of the demons.
That kind of sounds like the Damnation.
Yeah, it wasn't just physical people and animals. It was also ghosts and demons and fucking ghosts of things that were mixtures of demons and animals and humans. You had to have sex with them too, and they were getting women pregnant.
Like the shit he came up with. Like I was, like I said, I read Books of Blood when I was like 11 or 12, and it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude, holy shit. And he was like pretty young when he wrote that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to write this kind of shit. This dude is fucked up, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like he's like Stephen King is awesome. I'm not saying that, but Clive Barker, he's on a whole other. He's in his own universe. I would love for them to make a movie of Damnation Game would be good. I would love for them to make a movie of Weave World, which I've told you you should probably read because I think you would totally be into that. It's long, but I think you'd be into it. Yeah. And I would love to see an adaptation, please. Someone do an adaptation of my very, very favorite Clive Barker short story, which is In the Hills, the Cities, which is about two cities who hate each other. And every now and again, they all strap themselves together into two giants and fight. Okay. Oh, it's great.
Danny's telling me that they got Dark Angel DVDs on eBay, about $20 each per season. I've seen those before. What I was trying to buy is that they have a collection of the entire series in a pack, and it was DVD, I believe. And it had little booklets and everything, and it was like from the factory. You know what I mean? It was like an official release of the whole thing. And that thing's going for like $100. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it might have 4 or 5 discs in it.
Well, like I said, I will check the streaming services and see what I can find.
It might be streaming somewhere.
But if not. High Desert said his last book I liked was Cold Heart Canyon. Cold Heart Canyon was great. I loved that fucking book. I have that too somewhere. I have like I keep looking over there because I have a huge bookshelf there, and I have 2 huge bookshelves over there, and a bookshelf over there. So I have like a whole bunch of fucking books. And yeah, that was a great book too. I would like to see a movie of that too, but that wasn't as out there as some of his earlier stuff. But yeah. Yeah, disappointed in the Scarlet Gospels though. Yeah, I didn't love that. Like it was good, but I was just kind of like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's the kind of same shit that happens with a lot of authors, especially somebody like Clive Barker, who's so iconic, and his whole thing, you know, early on was coming up with some, like I said, I read a lot of horror when I was growing up, and it's like I read his shit and I'm just like, holy crap, this dude's like on a whole other level. You know what I mean? Because the shit that he was coming up with was insane. And I was like, I wish I had this dude's imagination, but I don't. But the shit he was coming up with, I kind of feel like at some point, the sad thing is I kind of feel like culture maybe catches up with you. You know what I mean? Because look at the big deal that everybody made about Hellraiser when it came out, which Hellraiser, it's a great fucking movie. It's a classic, but you can't, if you didn't grow up in that time period, you don't understand how shocking that was in 1987 when that came out. Nobody really in the mainstream, at least, like knew much about BDSM or like anything like that. So they saw Hellraiser and they're like, holy crap, this is like way the fuck out there. Like nowadays, if people saw it, everybody's like, yeah, okay. It's not that out there, but in the 80s it was really, really out there. So I kind of feel like
From Beyond came out and that had BDSM elements.
Well, From Beyond came out like a year before that.
Okay.
That came out in 86.
And I remember that the bad guy was into BDSM.
Yeah.
The one who made the resonator.
Yeah.
And that was portrayed as some real subversive shit. You know, nowadays nobody even notice it. They know, oh, that? Yeah. But that was cool. What has that chick in there that fucking we like, the blonde?
Barbara Crampton.
Barbara Crampton, yeah.
Oh my god, I love her.
Yeah, Barbara Crampton.
I'm on her Instagram.
Yeah, in the pseudo IR interracial sex scene that she did with the big old fucking black cop, all that shit was fucking cool, man. The fucking
Barbara Crampton just seems like a lovely human being. Yeah. She really does.
She's in that fucking sexy ass fucking.
And she is still cute as shit.
Yeah, and she's fucking pushing 60.
She's adorable.
And she's fucking hot, man. She's very cute.
Yeah.
You can see her on fucking Instagram.
She looks almost unchanged.
You can tell she's older, but she's just as cute as she was. She's just an older version of that.
Not really. It's like not really that big of a change, to be honest.
I can see that there's age on her. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the thing, that doesn't mean she's not attractive, though. She's had work done, and that's just going to happen at that age, but...
Well, you're in that industry.
You're in that industry, but she's still, like, you know... Dude's not going to say no to her. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any dude on Earth would say no to that.
No.
He doesn't care how old she is. Because look at her, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And like I said, she seems like a really cool person. Yeah. Like I said, I'm on her Instagram. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Mango says, From Beyond is great,
yeah.
but Society is really twisted. Oh my God.
I haven't seen that one.
We watched that.
Which one was
Society, that is actually, you know, okay, so Stuart Gordon directed From Beyond and Reanimator. His collaborator, Brian Yuzna, directed Society, which came out in 1989. You don't remember The Shunting?
The Shunting.
Oh my God. I can't remember. I can't believe. I thought we watched that together.
I don't think we saw it.
Oh my God. Society. If you have not seen Society.
I don't think we saw it. I didn't see it with you.
I've seen it several times.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I haven't seen it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't really want to spoil it for anybody, but it's crazy. Please watch it.
There's only one Jeffrey Combs movie that disappointed me, and that was Castle Freak. Castle Freak wasn't quite as good.
I liked Castle Freak,
It was okay, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
It was based on the Lovecraft story, The Outsider.
Yeah.
Right? Loosely.
It wasn't as fun as the other movies.
No, but...
It was almost a little bit too serious.
Well, the thing about it is that, look, if you come right out the gate with Reanimator...
Yeah. You're going to have to keep that energy.
Anything you make after that is probably going to be a letdown, I hate to tell you.
All of the Reanimator series were good. I
liked all the Reanimator movies.
And I also liked Dagon, which was in that same tone. Yeah.
And I kind of feel like a lot of people don't talk about that movie or like didn't like it or whatever, but I thought Dagon was great. I honestly thought that Dagon was one of the closest approximations of at least what I thought of when I was reading Lovecraft stories. It's not based on Dagon, it's actually based on Shadow over Innsmouth.
Yeah, they just put it in a different place. They put it on an island instead. Yeah. Now the thing is that if I remember correctly, it was the same guys that did the other two movies. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the same guys. Yeah. Had that come out, right in the same year that we'd seen the other two, we would have all thought that was the best one.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people look down their noses at that. Like, no, man. If you liked From Beyond and Reanimator, any of the Reanimators, but Reanimator 1 and fucking From Beyond, you want to see Dagon. It's the same dude, but it doesn't have Jeffrey Combs in it. It's got a Jeffrey Combs kind of guy in it, I think, from Miskatonic University. But it doesn't matter because the bad guys are so good. The bad guys are really good.
Like I said, they really captured for me...
the world building.
Yeah, they really captured for me what it would feel like being in a Lovecraft story. You end up in this weird town and like everyone's fish people and like everything's dank and wet.
Yeah, but
and
here's
it's just
the thing.
It really kind of came across like that.
You show up in a town
they did a
and
good
you can't
job.
find anybody. It's raining all the time. It's fucking semi-deserted. It looks like everything's falling fucking apart. And this is on location. It's like in a real place somewhere in Portugal or some shit like that.
Spain, I think they shot it. Yeah. Well, they set it in Spain too.
So
even
it looks beautiful.
The story is not set in Spain, but they set it in Spain because that's where they shot it.
So it looks beautiful because it's shot on a location that it fits. And you're running into weird people. And there's definitely something wrong with them, but you just can't come to terms with the fact that motherfucker's part fish. But he's hiding his face. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're like, what the hell's going on? Over time, you realize these aren't humans. Yeah. Or they're only part human, you know? And you're like, all right. And the characters come to accept that these people are part fish.
Yeah. I feel like Dagon is like a really underrated like Lovecraft adaptation. Yeah. Like I said, I kind of feel like it was one of those movies like Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage.
I've only seen it once.
They kind of did a good job adapting that story, and it kind of like was like I pictured when I was reading it. But I think Dagon, even though nobody talks about it, when did it come out? 2001? I want to say. I think it was 2001. That movie, when I watched that, I said, this is what I picture when I read Lovecraft stories.
It's got the tone. The tone's right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And it like I said, it's not an adaptation of the story Dagon. It's actually an adaptation of Shadow over Innsmouth. But but that's fine. Like it has like other elements of other Lovecraft stories too. But that's kind of like what I picture.
Yeah. I also liked Necronomicon. That had Jeffrey Combs in it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like
it's an anthology.
It's an anthology, but it was still good. It was really good.
I liked it too, and I kind of feel like that's a little bit underrated.
It's forgotten, and
I think I like Dagon better, but Necronomicon
I'm
is
not
pretty
sure
good
you
too.
could even buy an official copy of Necronomicon.
Which is sad.
I think it's kind of in some kind of legal limbo. Nobody, because I remember looking for like a Blu-ray release or a DVD, and I don't think everything seemed to be some kind of weird bootleg. So I don't think it's.
Yeah, I was like thinking. I
don't think anybody owns it, or it's owned by somebody that hasn't released it.
Which is that's kind of sad.
It's weird.
Cause fucking Jeffrey Combs, man, come on, and it's a Lovecraft.
And he
thing.
plays H.P. Lovecraft in it.
Yeah,
he's got makeup, prosthetic makeup to make him look
make him look like H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft, yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy? You know how Oracle was saying earlier about the author of that book that I just read, which was about Edgar Allan Poe solving a serial killer mystery. The reason that the woman that wrote that story, Melanie Fletcher, I think her name was, wrote that story was because she is a huge fan of Jeffrey Combs, and she saw him playing Edgar Allan Poe. Because remember how he did that play, that and it was like a one-man show where he played Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, we weren't able to see it.
Yeah, well, she saw it in L.A.
Yeah.
Back in 2009.
Yeah.
And that gave her the idea for this book.
Okay.
So she could, because she had like a whole end note about how like she was a huge fan of Jeffrey Combs, and she's like, look, I knew he was playing Edgar Allan Poe, like, and Stuart Gordon like directed it, and it was like this one man thing, and she's like, oh my god, I have to pay to go see that, and she saw it like a bunch of times, and that's what gave her the idea, because she's like, he was fucking brilliant playing Edgar Allan Poe, and I kind of wish, I'm sure somebody probably posted it to YouTube at some point, but it's like. I can see how I love Jeffrey Combs, man. He's like fucking awesome.
Yeah, but should we probably get him on the show?
Maybe we should.
Yeah, we got to get back into getting guests again, though.
Mango says no man or woman would turn down Barbara Crampton.
She's cute.
I think friendly. Not. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cute.
Like if she came up and propositioned.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no.
I'll show y'all if you guys don't know who we're talking about.
I'm gonna go pee and get a drink.
Let me go get a Barbara Crampton.
I mean, she is darling.
Yeah.
She's there, and she seems really cool too, which is a big help.
Yeah, I follow Barbara Crampton on Instagram. For those of you who don't know who we're talking about, she was in a bunch of cool little horror movies. There's Barbara.
She's looking great, man. I think she's just turned 60 maybe, or 60 something.
She might be 65. She's been in a bunch of fucking movies. If you ever saw From Beyond, she was in that. Here she's dressed up like in her Wednesday Addams costume. Yeah. Look at Barbara. Chick's beautiful. Yep. Here's a classic shot.
Looks like 80s. Probably from around the time of From Beyond. How old is she? Just showing Barbara. Barbara.
I don't know.
I think she's 65, maybe.
Maybe. And like I said, she's still in fucking movies nowadays.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
she was in
her movies in theater. She was fucking great. Yeah.
She was in one called Jacob's Wife.
Yeah.
With Larry Fessenden. That was good. She was in one back in 2016 called Beyond the Gates which was good if you haven't seen that. Because that was kind of like retro, like about a
She's
VHS
She's turning
game.
66.
Yeah.
So no, that's a very well preserved woman. 66.
I mean,
crazy.
holy crap! I hope I look that good when I'm fucking.
Gotta spend money on it.
In my
Your body fucking gonna hold up the rate you're going. She's been in training now for about 3 or 4 months. You wait till we release the next video, next fucking spicy video. She's looking fucking great. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to keep my shit together.
She works out fucking at least twice a week. Weights. Doing good.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like
her
a huge
just transforming
deal, but like it helps that I'm on the drugs.
Yeah,
Also.
you gotta do stuff. Everybody does stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Everybody in fucking.
If I could afford surgery, I'd probably do it, but I can't really afford it, so I'm not like worried too much about it.
I can.
Well, you can.
I got no credit for you. No, I'd do it for you. But not here. We'd go for Mexico for that.
Well, that would be a whole other expense.
No. Overall, it'd be cheaper.
Probably.
We could get a lot of shit
That's what's
done.
sad about like the U.S. It's like everything's so fucking expensive here.
Me and
you can afford
there.
to like go to another country, stay in another country, get medical shit done there, and then fly back to this country, and it would still be cheaper than getting it.
You could get a lot more.
That's fucked up.
Fucked up. I could. Me and you could go there for a week. Have a fucking medical vacation is what they call them.
Medical.
There's a place in El Paso that does it right there on the border, and do the whole thing for about $10,000, which I have that, and then I have enough credit for that, and then that would be the equivalent. What you could get for that $10,000 would be about $40,000 or $50,000 of work here.
Easily,
which would involve like neck lift, eye, cheekbones, all this shit. You could even do a nose tweak if you wanted. Nah, probably not that.
What's wrong with my nose?
No, I'm just, you were saying your nose is wide or whatever if you want.
Yeah, but I'm not bothered by it. I'm only bothered by it when other people say something about it.
I don't really notice it.
I was never bothered.
You're the only one that said. I was just saying you could do that.
Most shit about myself.
Yeah, you could probably.
I don't notice until somebody else complains about it.
You could do everything and more for about $10,000 in Mexico.
I really only have one thing I want done, but I'm not talking about what it is. But it's like, I never thought about a nose job or anything like that. I don't mind my nose. Yeah, my nose is wide, but it doesn't really bother me.
I wouldn't fuck with it. Because I've never seen a nose job.
I wouldn't fuck with it either.
I've never seen a nose job that involved widening a nose or narrowing a nose that looked good. I've seen nose jobs that involve getting a little pug nose. That can look good. But that's a lot more minor. That just involves breaking your nose.
I don't really have a lot of problems with my face in general. Yeah. You know what I mean? Never. Like I said, I always thought
the face stuff is just to remove age.
Yeah, that's really all I would be bothered about.
That's all it does. Yeah.
Really, when I was younger, it never occurred to me that I had like a wide nose or anything until other people pointed it out, and then I got like self-conscious about it.
I didn't notice it until you said something about it.
Well, the only reason I said something about it was because other people had pointed it out to me, and I'm just like, it never really bothered me until other people pointed it out.
Let me show you guys what a young Jenny looks like. And she was not very young then.
I was like 39.
You were 39 then.
At that stage.
Yeah.
Maybe older.
Yeah, but you know what? You looked better at 39 than you did at 29.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I totally did. Yeah. I totally did.
Jenny got better looking as she got older.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say that. Well, I mean, I wasn't terrible looking in my teens or 20s, but it's just kind of like, I was kind of one of those people that needed to, I was a late bloomer, let's call it that. Because I was real heavy when I was a teenager. I lost some weight when I was in my 20s, but then I kind of gained it back, and then, so there was a whole thing.
This was, me and Jen have been together for probably, about 2 years then?
Probably,
a year maybe?
Like that, yeah. When we did that photo shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in my late 30s or early 40s.
Yeah.
Because I met you when I was 38.
The only difference.
Or 39.
The only difference is your jawline. That's the only difference. And that would be easy. And it's not weight. I think you're actually, your weight is up now, but it's muscle.
Yeah.
It's just, as we
I probably
age,
weigh the same as I
it's
did
probably the same,
in
yeah.
that picture.
As we age, our fucking elasticity of the skin changes. That's just all it is. I'm fucking... Men, actually, if you fucking do the shit that I do, which is just bombard yourself.
Well, at least
fucking...
y'all can grow a beard.
Yeah.
I mean, I could grow a beard too, but like people would think it was weird though.
You could grow a beard. A lot of women can, but
I don't know.
It would look like it would be.
I don't know if I could grow a beard.
It would be
or not.
scraggly.
Probably I couldn't.
But
not like a ZZ Top beard.
No.
How awesome would that
I actually
be?
saw a young woman online who did have a fucking beard. I thought that maybe she was trans. It's
no,
not. It's a girl.
It can
and
happen.
She had a beard. She grew it out on purpose, and then she's mad that dudes don't like it. And she goes, the only guys that like my beard are very effeminate men, and I like macho guys.
I mean,
and
there's somebody out there for everybody.
She had a full fucking beard.
I'm kind of impressed though.
No, she's just stunting. She's just trying to get attention.
Well, I know that, but it's like I'm kind of impressed that she could grow a full beard. That would be kind of neat. I don't know if I don't know if I'd want to do that or not. I might do it just out of curiosity.
No, I would never allow that. Some bearded shit.
But I'm weird like that.
You're not that weird.
Oh, you have no idea.
I would never allow that.
You have no idea. Victor says,
lip filler and injections, yeah. Jen's fucking scared of that kind of shit, really.
I'm not scared of it. I just don't.
It's cheap and I can get it, and I can do it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing. I never thought that my lips were anything unusual. But you told me that I had thin lips one time, and I was like, "What?
You do?"
No, I don't.
But they're
just regular.
They're regular. Regular is thin for a white girl. Regular is kind of thin. Fucking lip injections are to get not regular lips, but plump lips. It's kind of like
I know that.
It's kind of like girls to do. They can fake it with lip liner.
Yeah.
And bring it out to get that fucking almost kind of a square lip.
Yeah,
with
I know how to do that, but it's like I don't
almost
know.
Kind of a Lucille
I think that
Ball
looks weird and fake.
You would not
when
believe how many girls are rocking that.
Well, yeah,
you think it's natural. It's not.
It's not. No.
Yeah. No.
Well, actually, like if you see a lot of girls online, because I watch a lot of makeup tutorials and stuff like that, you would be astounded at how much makeup makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
A huge difference.
Yeah. A lot of times those big, thick lips, big juicy lips,
because
makeup.
They do like all that kind of like all of that contouring. Yeah. I don't really do a lot of that. Like it's obviously I wear makeup because if I don't, I would look like an ogre. But it's just kind of,
you look like an ogre. You don't look like an ogre.
No, I don't look that bad. But it's like I don't have any eyebrows or anything like that. So it's just kind of like I have to even out my skin tone because my skin's kind of blotchy.
No.
Like it's kind of red and blotchy. And
it's not. She's got pretty good skin.
But I don't. Well, yeah, I don't have any acne. I don't have any wrinkles. Even I don't have any wrinkles on my face at all. And I don't know why that happened.
She's got real good genes for that. Her mom still looks pretty young. Her mom's
in
her 70s.
My mom's in her 70s.
Her mom looked like Pia Zadora.
Yeah, and she got that all the time.
Yeah, and they genetically
back in this
her and her
look
mom,
up Pia Zadora. That's what my mom looks like.
And if you look at Pia Zadora also they have fat cheeks, big cheeks. They have that.
Little chipmunk cheeks. Yeah,
chipmunk cheeks.
Well, my mom, all her sisters, because she has a bunch of sisters and a bunch of brothers. She had 7 siblings. They all have that look. They all have the same look as me. They have big fat cheeks, big round faces, kind of short. Short arms, short legs, big butt, big thighs, big everything. Tiny hands, tiny feet. And that we all are built like that. Which I didn't like it, but it's like, what are you going to do? You can't really do much about it, honestly. You just got to work with what you got. Gotta work with what you got.
That's Pia Zadora. And Jenny's mom looks like that.
Oh my God. Honestly, that picture, it looks not so much like my mom. It looks like my Aunt Christina.
Yeah, right.
Who is like my mom's younger sister.
Yeah.
My Aunt Christina looked exactly like that. Exactly. My Aunt Christina was only a few years older than me. She was like the youngest one. Because my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, had 8 children. So my mom has 7 siblings. Some of them have passed away, obviously, but, because they're older. But that looks like the youngest one. That looks like my Aunt Christina.
Yeah.
But they all kind of look alike. I kind of look like that, too.
Yeah.
Not as much because I dyed my hair and shit like that.
There's another picture of Pia.
Yeah, see, that looks so much like my mom.
Yeah.
When she was younger. And like my aunts. Because they all look alike. They all look alike. All of my female maternal relatives all look alike.
Now here's Pia in her 40s or 50s.
That looks like your mom to me.
Yeah, that totally looks like my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom looks a lot like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, my mom gets that all the time.
Yeah.
She used to get that all the time. That
Here's
she
a
like
cute
Pia
picture
Zadora.
of a teenage Pia.
Yeah. And that's kind of what my mom looked like. I mean, my mom, well, when she was in the 70s, when she had me, because she had me when she was 18, I've seen her yearbook pictures and stuff like that, and she was so beautiful when she was in high school. Yeah. Because I had her yearbook. And she had like the little bit of a beehive type of situation. Mm-hmm. But that's almost exactly what her face looks like.
Yeah, see that big cheeks, big square face like that? That's Jen's genetics do that.
Yeah. That's my mama. Like I said, there's a reason why a bunch of people said she looked like Pia Zadora. Yeah. She does.
Yeah,
she does. She looks.
That's a you can rock that look though.
Yeah, she looks a lot like that.
You just have the problem with this look, and Jen will tell you, you can't gain any weight.
Yeah.
You gain weight, it fucking goes to your head first.
Yeah. Yep. And it kind of sucks. Well, like I said, my whole maternal line, my mom and all her sisters, we all look like this. We all like pretty much look the same. Like our faces are the same shape. Our bodies are the same shape.
Well, no, not anymore, Jen. You're.
Well, no, I'm just saying that
your sisters are weigh a lot more than you do.
Well, my sister does.
Your sister does, yeah.
But I'm just saying that like my mom and all her sisters,
right.
Like you. Yeah. Are built like I am. They're all kind of short, kind of stocky.
Well, that's a southern thing.
Yeah, it's like a short arms, short legs. And if you gain any weight, you're kind of fucked because you're gonna look like a big fatso. Even
Old
if you're
school
not.
Southern people that have been here for generations and generations were short and stocky, and very calorie efficient. We survived all the damn starvation and the ethnic cleansing of the civil wars. We're kind of like Mexicans. Fucking a lot of the same build as Mexicans. You see some Mexican people, they're short, stocky, no waist really, just kind of a fucking blocky, almost Native American looking build. That's what we tend towards.
Yeah. I mean, I have a waist.
Yeah.
But
you got to work to keep it.
Like to have a waist, I have to like not eat.
Yeah, most short Southern guys like me will end up with a big old fucking belly if they don't diet or they're not health conscious.
Because I have like little bitty short legs. Yeah. Like that little bitty short leg.
Yeah. And my dad was tiny. I was bigger than my dad and my granddad. My dad was only 5'4". My granddad was 5'1".
Which is, well, shit. I'm taller than that.
Yeah. My granddad was 5'1".
I'm 5'3".
Or 5'2". 5'1" or 5'2". And I'm 5'6". And but I weigh nearly 200 pounds. 197
like
pounds.
I said, it's
195 pounds.
Genetics is a bitch. I will say that. But you gotta work with what you got. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff to change it, but you can't do. I mean, look, when I was a kid, I was like, I wanted to be like a willowy. I didn't want to be tall. I didn't really care about that, but I wanted to be a willowy ballet dancer type. And yeah, that was not happening. No. Obviously.
Your skeleton is just not built for that.
It really wasn't. I did do ballet and I was good at it, but I'm not, I wasn't small enough.
Yeah.
I just wasn't small enough.
Yeah. No.
I don't have that skeleton.
You have a worker bee build, but it can be very sexy if you've built up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of top-notch girls in porn that are your body type that do real well. But a good one would be like Sophie D is basically your body type. You're actually starting to accelerate a little bit ahead of her. You're more athletic than she was. What was the other one that was kind of like your body type, but just kind of the stocky, big boob kind of look? Sophie D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've kind of, but it took me a long time to appreciate because, like I said, for a long time I was
guys actually prefer this kind of look to the way.
I was kind of hoping to look different than I looked, and I was always mad and resentful that I didn't. Because, like I said, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be a ballet dancer. I took ballet classes when I was a kid and stuff like that. But I was always like big and awkward, and it's just even when I was younger, and it always like made me so mad. I was good at it. Yeah. Like, I was good at gymnastics. I was good at ballet. I was, like, the best in my class. But I was big.
Yeah, big bone.
I was big. I had big tits. I had big, like, even from big shoulders. Very young age. Yeah.
Big shoulders. You're a worker bee.
Big shoulders, big tits. Like, so it just wasn't working out. And that always made me so mad. I wanted to be, like, a little elfin figure. And that was not working out.
But your body style works better for gymnastics,
not working
pole dancing, stripping. It doesn't really work.
Gee, thanks, Tom.
A lot of guys like that shit, you know.
I was good at gymnastics because I took that too.
Yeah.
I was good at gymnastics, and I was the best at that too. Like, I could do back bends and all kind of shit, like, all day long. I could probably still do it nowadays. Maybe not. I'd probably fall over. But yeah. I work out still, but I'm not that coordinated. Let's see.
Yeah, why don't you go through the comments?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Back up and go through the comments.
All right. Victor says, this girl I went to high school had a mustache. She made me gay.
She made you gay. Yeah, Victor said that's it. Yeah. So you were attracted to a girl that had facial hair, and that made you gay.
Here's the thing. I don't know if a lot of dudes know this, but most girls have mustaches and beards. We have facial hair. We just wax that shit off.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if dudes know that, but spoiler alert. Yeah. That's what happened. You just gotta wax it off. First time I got laid at 16, I almost got put in jail. The girl wrote it in her diary, and her mom went through it and called the cops.
Who's this?
Murder Hornet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Your friend. Saying date rape. Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to comment. And Murder Hornet said, I'm not having sex again. I'm never having sex again. Well, I mean...
Yeah, sure. Unless you go into the Mexican brothels.
We know all about your brothels, okay?
He's sending me pictures and shit.
Just err on the side of not being a teenager. I kind of feel like that's an easy thing to do.
If it's an economic transaction, okay, you got proof that you have consent because you paid her. You got a receipt and everything from the fucking front office.
Did they give you receipts at whorehouses?
Yeah, I don't know if they do that down there. They would do that kind of shit, and they didn't do it in Korea.
Yeah, I was like, you have more experience with me. I've never been to a whorehouse ever, because why would I do that?
You probably could ask for a receipt if you're probably in Japan.
I'm going to write this off as a business expense, so could you please give me a receipt?
Although I think they would have to couch it in another way, you know, because I don't think in Japan, I don't think prostitution is technically legal. I think they...
That's what I mean. Like, a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Like, shit, man, you can't even sell sex videos online and get paid through PayPal. Yeah. They have to have, like, other alternate shit. Because PayPal doesn't want to get involved
but
with sex
work. But the thing is they'll transact, PayPal will transact probably with, banks will deal with fucking actual porn companies because they're related.
But it's a whole thing. Well, like I said, it's like it's really awkward because it's like every time even if you're going through like a legitimate site, like ManyVids or
they use gangster tactics to try to keep the competition down. So they don't want you using certain pay channels. Banks will say, "Well, we can't deal with you. We can't deal with that money. That's dirty money." Right. Oh, but Viacom and their billion-dollar porn industry, we'll deal with them. Yeah.
Well, and I said, they don't really seem to have any problem with like, hey, you sold weapons to like some
third world country,
enemy of the
United States, or you hired mercenaries to
take money from
an ally of the United States. No, they don't give a shit.
But man, we can't uploading a video of you masturbating. Yeah, we can't have that.
Oh my god,
can't have that.
It's cutting into somebody's profit margin.
Typical.
Yeah,
typical.
It's that is all. Look. A lot of shit been going down right now in Hollywood and the entertainment industry. Paramount Pictures is falling a fucking apart. That came out today. There's going to be a fire sale at fucking Paramount. They're going to sell off. They're trying to sell off Star Trek and the Star Trek properties, and nobody wants to buy it. That's the behind the scenes word. It's because Star Trek is so trashed, and it is so fucking tied up in contracts with fucking third and fourth parties and crap that it's going to take billions of dollars to straighten out Star Trek before you can fucking before they can sell it. Hollywood, the cable industries, all these fucking studios, this is very much a 20th century model that's falling a fucking apart. It's being chewed up by social media and the new way of making movies. The new studios are this is just the turning of the fucking Baktun, of the fucking Mayan Baktun is turned. It's a new era. New shit is coming and old shit is going to go away. And those old people do not want to give up that money and that power.
I mean, I'm not worried about it. Like, my ass is not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
No, it ain't us. Oh, it won't affect us negatively at all. It'll help us.
That's why I'm not bothered.
It'll help. I'm just
like, look, awesome. if I'm just kind of like, look, if more indie people are gonna make movies,
it's gonna be the indie people.
All right,
indie movies, and you're gonna see indie movies in the theaters. So I predict gonna be like punk rock of the '70s. Where you're gonna have
like I said, I love that
shit going mainstream. That's what's gonna happen.
That's what made me so excited about. And look, some people complained. I did see some people complain about Late Night with the Devil. Yeah. Do you remember like how many logos came up before the movie started?
No, I don't remember.
There were a lot.
Yeah.
But you know,
people that chipped in on the
it's
movie.
An indie movie.
It's an indie movie.
So it's like you're gonna have a lot of companies chipping in on it. So I wasn't bothered. But some people did bitch about it. I'm just like, bro, please, one, stop crying. You want indie movies, right? So that's kind of how you have to pay for them. They're not free. So here's the thing. I just kind of feel like if you want to see that, please, if there is an indie movie that comes out, please, if it's playing in the theater, which Late Night with the Devil did, which I was amazed by that, please make an effort to go to the theater to see it.
Yep.
Even if you don't love it, even if you don't, just please support that kind of stuff, because if you do that,
it's an epic flick.
Then more people, like, I loved that fucking movie. Like, the more I think about it, the more I loved it.
Yeah, I want to see it again.
The more I loved it.
It was,
and I loved I love the commitment. I love the commitment to the theme.
It felt new, like a new approach, but it was also very kind of like calling back to the 70s. But they did it all in like a very new way. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
And I loved
I thought it was artistically a fucking hit.
Yeah, and I love that they made it and they're like, look, they didn't really seem to care if it made a fuck ton of money or not. They're like, this is just what we wanted to make.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Yep.
So I would, always advocate, please go see movies like that in the theater, because like I said, we don't need to see a movie that costs $400 million to make.
It's very much the Joker of horror movies.
Yeah.
It's like the Joker, but it was like, it had that same kind of 70s kind of sketchy fucking feel to it, but it was even better in a way. It was a horror movie. I liked it. But here's another thing that I liked about that is that the more I dug into it, the more I was listening to some of the other guys talk about it, from like Midnight's Edge and stuff. A lot of the money, I thought it was very interesting, and this is like a good sign of the future. A lot of the money that was put together to make that film came from Middle Eastern horror fans.
Yeah.
Like UAE and Dubai, that area. That's fucking awesome.
Because
that's what you got. Horror fans of Western horror in the Middle East.
We want to see good shit.
They want to see good shit. You're right. And that's going to be the model of the future.
We got money. We're going to give. Yeah. But, I don't have money. But some of them have money.
You're going to have global.
I don't have any money.
Global support. Fans in the entire globe can now chip in to make
And I love that.
Yep.
Like, look, because horror is universal. Yeah. I know we're kind of like a subgenre, but that's cool. But, like, whatever country you're in, whatever, like, if you can afford to contribute to that shit, fucking do that shit.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I bet you those guys that in the Middle East that put money up for that movie made profit. Because that movie didn't cost much to make, and it made a lot of money back. I mean, it's not
because everybody is talking about that movie.
A lot of money
everybody.
So it was a good investment. The thing is, though, I'm going to give a warning out to those fucking foreign investors. You can't just do that with any old fucking piece of shit movie.
Well, no.
You got to have good creative people, and
horror people are very discerning. Probably more discerning than any other genre.
Yeah.
I feel.
You got to have the right.
Maybe
people.
I'm biased, but
you got to have the right people that writing that script. It's got to be the fucking great fucking direction and fucking
make good
screenwriting and everything. It's got to be right, and it's got to have the right cast. Because indie horror movies have come and go. We saw some in the theater that weren't all that indie, and we've just forgotten about them. Remember the one where it happened in the damn amusement park? Do you remember the name of that one?
Hellfest?
Hellfest. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it was in an amusement park. It wasn't a bad movie. It's just not real memorable.
Well, it was good, but it wasn't like mind-blowing.
Yeah, you just don't really remember
it. Wasn't mind-blowing.
You got to have some talent behind that shit.
So like I said, it's just kind of like, well, here's the thing, and this is kind of like the hard thing about, well, this is the hard thing about any genre of movie. But it's just kind of like you have to make something that's going to appeal to all of the fans of that genre and maybe some, people that aren't really into that genre. But also you have to, and it's like a really hard thing to do. You have to like upset tropes. You can't just have a tropey kind of thing because we've seen it all before. Horror fans probably more than anybody. So you have to make something new, but that still harkens back to what people like. You know what I mean? But you can't just make a thing that's like, oh, we made this creepy. Because here's the thing. Like, I watched some movies that a lot of people talked about, like Cobweb and, what was the other one that I was thinking of? Talk to Me and some other ones, which were good, but they didn't blow me away. It wasn't like, it didn't stand out that much to me. They were good, but like it didn't stand out. Like when I saw it, it didn't knock my socks off. You know what I mean? And like I said, horror fans, we're kind of, I don't want to say we're assholes because I'm not, but it's because I want to watch new shit. I do. And it's like, I'm really open to new experiences in that genre. But it's like, we've seen everything, man, and horror fans are like super geeky about the shit. They've seen all the old shit. So if you're homaging some old shit, we've seen that. So you really have to like bring something new to the table, but in a way that doesn't alienate people, like fans. You know what I mean? So, and I kind of feel like Late Night with the Devil like got that exactly right.
Yeah.
Like it's like we're doing a possession movie, we're doing a found footage movie, we're doing it retro, but it's like they brought just enough new to the table, but that was still retro, and it's just kind of like, so you could still come at it from that angle. And I don't know, man, they just got everything correct.
Yeah.
I kind of feel it.
High Desert says, I remember Pia Zadora being a total airhead. Remember her as being a total airhead. I remember Pia having kind of her career was kind of sus. I remember back in the 70s when I was a kid, her manager was her husband. She was like 15 or 16. And he was like in his 40s or 50s. Isn't that how that shit went?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to look it up, but yeah.
What's that?
You'd have to look it up, but I
remember it was being something like that her manager was her husband, and there was a huge age gap. She was like 15 when they started trying to make her famous. She's like 16 or 17 back in the 70s when they started releasing music of her out in California. And I think this dude was like fucking in his late 40s. Yeah, I don't think they remained married for long, but it was just kind of her career was not real organic.
I mean, fun fact, she was in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians when she was a little kid.
Yeah. But the thing is that that was the way a lot of people, she was kind of like a prototype of like Tiffany and fucking Britney Spears and that kind of shit. They were kind of like these instant stars, They just get some young chick and fucking make her sing, But there's a whole industry behind her or something. She was like one of those. She didn't come up in nightclubs or anything, or writing her own material or anything.
Yeah, you just kind of got plucked from obscurity. You happen to have a boyfriend that was a famous person or a producer of some kind.
Who knew producers and shit. And
and was like in love with you for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And they thought they could make some money off you.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It usually failed. Usually they were flashing their hands.
I mean, yeah.
They'd have one little song and that was it. Or some of them you never heard of and they just vanished.
Yeah. That happened a lot, though, I feel like.
Yeah.
John Robertson said, I thought you would appreciate this, Jenny. I got my hands on an orchid and have got him good and healthy now and named him Vincent after Vincent Price.
Okay.
Orchids were his favorite flowers.
What else is going on down there?
Aw, that's super sweet. I'm kind of fascinated by the whole orchid thing after I read The Orchid Thief, that Susan Orlean book, which they tried to make into a movie, which was adaptation, if you haven't seen that. Holy crap, I got so behind. Phantom says gymnastics and volleyball are the only female sports worth watching. I mean,
okay.
I don't know if I like ice skating, I like gymnastics. I don't watch sports, honestly, but when I used to, I don't really give a shit about male sports either. So I used to have to go to soccer games, but that was because my ex-husband made me, because he was a soccer player. Let me see. Victor says, my biggest fear is messing around with a guy and forgetting to say no homo first. Then I'll really be gay.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Saying no homo first.
Hold on. So you and this other dude, right? You're getting ready to get it on, and you forget to say no homo. So therefore, you're gay. So if you say no homo, you can do whatever you want. You're not gay.
Then that's like
it's
that's like the magic words.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you could say no homo and then blow a dude, and it's not gay. That's what he's saying. That's some wild shit.
That gives you permission, Tom.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
In his version of reality, all right?
Sure.
The thing is, though, is that you're always coming in here telling us what made you gay. I thought you were proud to be gay. You're out and you're proud. Why the hell would you want to say no homo before you do what's within your nature? You know, I don't understand.
You know what's weird to me, though?
Understand.
It's like, even as recently as the early to mid 2000s, I would go to a movie.
Yeah.
And, like, I'd be sitting there, like, waiting to watch the movie with my popcorn or whatever. Two dudes who were friends, they came to the movie, would come in, sit next to each other, look at each other, and then...
Step aside, yeah.
Yeah.
Step aside, yeah.
And me and my friend, female, would laugh and be like, oh, that's the no homo seat.
Yes, the no homo seat. Yeah. That way you know those dudes are not a couple. You know they're not holding hands.
We thought that was so fucking funny. I'm like, oh my god, that is like so try hard. It's like now I really think they're gay. Whereas like I wouldn't have thought that at all if they had just sat next to each other and been normal. But it's like the fact that they were just like, oh no, bro. I was like, oh, now they're for sure gay. For sure.
They sit separate, but then they put their feet up on the back of the fucking
That's what I'm saying.
in front of them, and then one of them crosses his foot over the other.
Right.
Foot.
You make too big a deal about it. That's what's funny to me. I think that's why me and like other girls that would go to, because we would go to movies together all the time, we'd see dudes do that. And it's like, that's what's funny to us is that the fact that you do that is like put a seat, but that makes it even more sus. It's like if you had just sat next to each other, no one would have thought anything. Nobody.
I don't know. I think so.
No. Well, we wouldn't have thought anything. We'd have just been like, okay, they're two friends going to see a movie.
If it's in a packed theater. Yeah,
nah, it's just two dudes going to say.
If it's an empty theater and you got two dudes sitting next to each other up in front, yeah, you might want to think, oh, that's a couple.
I would not think that. I would just think. Well, no, I wouldn't think that.
I might.
But like, but you're a dude. We were girls. We were just kind of like, oh, it's two friends. Like we're two friends going to see a movie. It's like we wouldn't think that was weird.
Depends on how big them seats are. If you're talking about the seats in,
I would not think that was weird. The fact that you had to have a seat between you
in the Dolby Theater, they're like lazy boy recliners.
That's like super weird.
In the Dolby Theater, it's like lazy boy recliners. That's
that would call attention.
If you're in the little fucking bargain basement seats and you're sitting right on top of each other, no reason to be. Yeah, you might want to spread it out. Yeah. No homo.
But see,
no homo.
Girls don't think like that. like I said, if two dudes came in to watch a movie, it would not occur to us that I was just kind of like, even if we thought about it at all, which we wouldn't, you know, if I thought about it at all, I'm just like, oh, it's two guy friends
Victor's
like going to see a movie.
Now he goes, yeah, I was just joking around. Victor's trying to clean
going
it
to
up.
see a movie.
Victor's
like me and my girlfriend are going to see a movie. We're not lesbians.
Victor's trying to.
We're just friends. We're going to see a movie. So just like
girls,
these two.
Girls, it's okay. But,
right, but it's like that wouldn't occur to us. So it's like it's very funny
Victor's
to us.
He's trying to save his gay.
It's very funny to us.
Victor's trying to save his
that
gay.
It would occur to dudes. It's like, oh my god, we have to leave a seat between, because if you do that, then the girls behind you are going to be like, oh well,
Jeffy says no blow home.
They must be gay because they're like worried about it.
This. Okay, hold on. What's he saying over here?
They're calling attention.
Read
to
what
it.
Jeffy R says.
They're calling attention to it. No blow homo?
Yeah,
that
no
explains
blow
the psyche of the football players in my high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
they were doing that shit. Damn.
I mean,
no homo. Okay. Yeah, no homo. And he goes and blows it.
Well, see, if you say that beforehand,
it's fresh.
Then it's like a
It's
magical.
clean. Yeah, it's all safe. That's funny. It's like a magical incantation.
Oh my god. Just roll with it. It's fine. I mean,
That's
you
funny.
know, it's fine.
It's funny.
It's fine. Everyone does whatever. It's just stop being so hung up on it. I don't really
be
get
what
it.
you are.
I don't get it. Like I said, I never really got that no homo seat between, because that to us that was just very, very funny. You're just calling more attention to it. If you would just come in
Don't
as,
go to those movies with a dude.
if you would just come in as two dudes and sat down and watched a movie, we just thought, oh, it's two friends watching a movie. Like, if you had thought about it at all, which we wouldn't, because why would that occur to us?
We've already discussed this.
That's what I'm saying.
We've already discussed it, yeah.
So it's like the fact that you would do that makes it even, it calls more attention to it.
Okay, do you want to talk about something else, or you want to shut the show down?
Can we talk about, okay, I wrote this down. Because remember how I wrote down you breaking the towel rack?
Yeah.
Because you said, oh, we have to talk about that on the show.
Yeah.
You talking about the towel rack.
Fell asleep
breaking the
last
towel
night.
rack while you were peeing.
Yeah.
Can we please talk about the whoopee?
Whoopee.
Because I
got this pillow.
I have wanted to talk about this for a long time, and I keep forgetting.
I don't
and
understand.
so I wrote it down.
I don't understand what's so.
I don't know. This
about
is
the
just
whoopee.
very, very funny to me. It's very funny to me.
I got this neck.
Indulge
pillow.
me.
I got this neck pillow.
Okay, so on our old bedding set,
which
we don't have anymore. Yeah, we had this old bedding set. It was a bed in a bag, so it came with all the pillows and the comforter and all of that nonsense. Now Tom is not a big pillow guy.
I don't like pillows.
He likes flat pillows.
They gotta be little
and flat, or just like one little pillow. He doesn't like the whole stacked up pillow situation.
No.
So he had this one pillow from our old bed set, which was the cylindrical. I guess it's like it's a neck pillow.
Yeah, it's like a cylinder.
Yeah, it's like cylindrical.
It's about 18 inches long and about 6 inches diameter. It's like a cylinder.
And he slept with that.
Yeah.
Under his head for like such a long time.
Yeah.
Under his neck for such a long time. That on our old bed set, it had split open.
Yeah.
And there was like stuffing coming out.
Half of it came out.
And like you'd wake up in the bed and like there'd be little puffs of stuffing.
I wouldn't get rid of it.
And like so after a while, we started calling that his whoopee.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if I don't know where this term came from. I know it from Mr. Mom, the 1984 movie with Michael Keaton and Terry Garr.
I never seen it.
Yeah, that was a movie which was very funny in 1984. Like the woman had to go out and get the high-powered executive job, and the dude had to stay home and watch the kids. And spoiler alert, it was super hard because it is. And one of the kids had a blankie that he called his whoopee. I don't know if that was a term before that, or if that term came from that movie. I got it from that movie. So for a long time after that, we would like make jokes, me and my siblings and stuff like that, about whoopies and stuff like that, about their blankies or whatever. So after a while, like he had this pillow and like all of this fucking stuffing was coming out of it, and we started calling it his whoopee because he was just like, he loved that fucking pillow. And I'm like, can we please sew that up or
and I don't like
throw it away or or something.
And see, here's the thing. I don't like any puffy pillows. I like it to be smashed and nasty and not have much pillow to it. You know what I mean? It was half empty of the fucking... But anyway, it doesn't make any difference. It's just... You could take a rag and ball it up and give it to me, and I'd take that over a pillow. I don't really like pillows that much.
We laughed because when all the stuffing came out, and like you'd find a little puff of stuffing in the bed, and he'd be like, "Ooh, whoopee meat."
Yeah,
that's what he called it, whoopee meat.
All right, the Phantom's asking what happened. What was the story with the sex doll? Whatever happened with that? Okay.
Okay. Oh well, wait a minute.
We got a story with that one.
But yeah. So the thing about it, finally, we threw away the whoopee.
Yeah.
I asked him about it. I was just kind of like, "Can we throw away the whoopee? Is it fine?" Because we got new bedding.
It was all ragged and shit.
And it was all like seriously, it busted open. It was all
reach into it, it had just
all the stuffing was just coming out. Yeah. But it's just I wondered because I told him I was like, well, look, I know whoopee from Mr. Mom, so it's like I don't know if it was a thing before that or because that was '84, I think that movie came out.
But asking about the sex doll. We ordered the sex doll.
Okay, yeah. So
it's just the body. We got the head.
We had the head already.
Yeah, and it never arrived. It said it arrived on the shipping, but it never did.
But it never did.
Yeah, it never left China. Okay.
I'm kind of feeling.
So I went to customer service and I said, "This thing, man, ordered this thing 3 days ago. It says it's here already, man. We never got that shit." She was like, "Oh yeah, that couldn't have made that distance in fucking 3 days." So they refunded the money. And then the car thing started happening, so I started focusing more on the car. Although today, I was going through Amazon and looking at other options that were out there. I'm just trying to learn how to search for them. I was searching for them by height. And I couldn't understand the height that they give. It would say 5 feet or say 4.6 feet. I was like, is that with the head or without the head? Because none of them come with heads.
Yeah, you have to buy the heads separate because, like I said, people switch them out.
Yeah, so. Yeah, they do. And they make these fucking weird ass sex dolls. So the head that we have is not a human head; it's an elf. It's small.
Yeah.
You know, Anastasia on that last show that we did last week. When I handed it to her, I'm handed it to her on the show. She's like, "This is like the head of a child." And I says, "Well, look at its ears. It's not a human. It's elf.
It's
an elf. It's kind of a cartoon looking. It doesn't look realistic. I like it though. I don't like that uncanny valley thing where that looks like a corpse.
It is a little weird.
I like it. You know, I want it to look more like an action figure or something. You know, and like a toy. Because it is, but it's got to have a badass figure too. So I was trying to figure out what height should this thing be based on the head. And they have some other companies that buy these and fucking put them together. They even paint them and they sell them to you with costumes and shit like that. And the ones that are for the elves' heads are usually about 4'6" to 4'9". All right, and it tended to be the slender ones. So we can get a body kind of like that for about $500. But like I said, it's very basic. It's not painted or anything because they dye and paint the other ones. You can change what color the nipples are. You can fucking have hair shot into it, where they do like it's almost kind of like hair implantation. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. These are just very basic, and it's just to make videos with. So if you search on Amazon, sex doll, 4.6 feet, 4.9 feet, and 5 feet, they'll come up. What was that?
My ice.
Oh, it was your ice? Okay.
Yeah.
So, me and Jen are short.
I'm 5'3", that's all.
Yeah. And the thing is that when you're dealing with camera work and perspective and shit like that, if you're going to shoot scenes with this shit, you're not going to be able to tell how tall it is anyway.
I mean, here's the thing. I told him, I was like, look.
The bigger they are, the more expensive they are.
That's the thing. It's like, I can't really afford to get like
a $900 fucking...
Right. I absolutely cannot afford that.
Top notch is $1,600.
Yeah, they're a lot of money. Like, we have the head already, and I'm just kind of like, well, I don't really want a body that if I make a video with it, it's going to make me look like a huge moose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because, you know, I'm 5'3", I'm voluptuous. You know, I'm not a little skinny thing or nothing like that. So it's like, I don't really want anything that's going to make me look like super fat by comparison. So, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that the head we got is like an elf head.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she would probably look better on a shorter body.
Yeah.
So we're trying to look for like a shorter body that's still kind of voluptuous.
Yeah, and that kind of hard. Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to find that because like the shorter bodies tend to be like super skinny, and and Tom doesn't like super skinny anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, so we're kind of looking for something that's like more meaty looking but still short.
Yeah.
It can be short, that's fine. I'm short too, but like, you know.
See, what happens is that the shipping is factored into the price. The more voluptuous and the bigger they are, the more it costs to ship them here, so the prices go up.
Because they weigh more.
They weigh more. Yeah. The ones that really we really want weigh over 100 pounds.
Because they're like a regular person
in
size.
Right, yeah. But the elf ones are more like between 77 pounds and about 90 pounds. Or no, they're about 60 pounds to about 80 pounds, 90 pounds, 80 pounds. But they're a lot cheaper. You can get those for like 500.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
and then you get that, and then you dress it. All right, and dress it like an elf. All kinds of fantasy outfits and shit.
Yeah.
Like a fucking elven princess or whatever. Give it a crossbow. You can do. They stand up. They're like a. So you use it. You can use it as a kind of like a decoration. Too, where it just stands.
Put it next to Spock right there.
Yeah, like Spock. You know, it stands there. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a lot of money, so we're kind of trying to. They did give us the money back on the other one.
Fam said a sex doll tester would be a sick job. I'll fucking get the head.
Yeah. We like that. Well, like I said, we got the head first because we wanted to see, because they're not as expensive. It was only $100-something. And I was like, well, get that first, and we'll see if it's decent enough quality to spend money on a body. Because they sell them separate.
Yeah, I wanted to see if the heads were any good.
Right.
So this is one of the least expensive.
But it really does, I mean, not like I know or anything, but it's just, it does, the weight of it weighs like
a human head.
Like a human head.
Yeah.
Like it's heavy. You know what I mean? And like it's not, it's kind of realistic, but not.
Yeah.
She's got elf ears though.
She got little pointed ears.
That's my wig actually.
Yeah.
That's my mom wig.
She's got little pointed ears.
Right.
Yeah.
So we kind of think because her head is slightly smaller.
She doesn't have teeth.
Than a human head.
The ones that are more expensive actually have a movable jaw with teeth in them, but she does have eyes that can move, and you can change the colors of the eyes out.
Yeah, you can take the eyes out and put different ones. You can put different hair on her.
She's got
because that's my wig right there. That's a mom wig.
She's got eyelashes.
Bald, actually,
she's got eyelashes.
But we just want a body.
It's hefty.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's like a real human head.
Yeah.
So we were kind of happy with that. So we were like, okay, well, we're kind of. But like I said,
this is what it looks like without her.
Yeah, she's just bald like that. So you can put whatever hair you want on her. And I have a million wigs, so.
Yeah.
I just put that one on her because I don't usually wear that one. Because I look like mom whenever I wear that wig.
Yeah. It looks good on her though.
Well, yeah, it looks good on her. Not so much on me though. I feel like a Karen whenever whenever I put that wig on. I like the shorter wigs because it's, less intrusive or bulky or whatever. But it's just like I always feel like a Karen when I have that shit on. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's the thing. So we're kind of taking a long time, like, picking a body because we ordered one and then we kind of got fucked over. Like, we didn't get fucked over, but it never showed up, even though they said it did. But they did refund the money because we called them and we were like, look, it said it was delivered, but it never came. So.
But you can make her look real wild, see?
With my red wig.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like my red wig. Yeah, see, so you can do all kind of stuff. And like I said, we want a body that like my clothes will fit on too.
Yeah, well, though,
because I have
not as small as.
I mean, I have fuck tons of clothes though.
She's only gonna be standing about this tall.
Well, most of my tops and stuff will probably fit on her though.
Yeah, stretchy stuff would.
Maybe not the pants.
Yeah.
Maybe not the pants might be too long.
She'll probably stand about that tall.
Yeah. We just have to make it like not look like a child because that would be weird.
Oh no, she's gonna have some big old boobs and shit.
Okay, well that's what I mean. We have to have a body that doesn't look like a child's body because they absolutely do have sex dolls that look like children. I'm not happy about it, but then on the other hand, I'm just kind of like, well, it's probably better that they have that so like people that are into that could just get that so it was fake so they didn't have to do shit on real people. I don't know how I feel about it, but I still look like really uncomfortable. Like, because Tom was showing me, he's like, look at this shit. And I was just like, oh man. It's just, I mean, I get why it exists. I get
That's some spooky shit, man.
It is spooky.
It was like, 5-year-old girls and shit. And I'm like,
and I was just kind of like, oh, gross. Yeah. And then I was like, well, but in a lot of ways, maybe it's better for like motherfuckers to buy that instead of like.
Yeah, I actually heard on the periphery from some of the other programs that were talking about is that it came. Somebody proposed a law to ban those, and then some people in the feds, in the federal agency, said, no, don't ban that.
Because it's better to like have.
Yeah, because that's an inanimate object. Just
sure.
Let them have that.
Yeah, instead of like a real person, for Christ's sake, I would rather that. Like, it's uncomfortable for us to look at.
That might fucking save somebody.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's like, look, if even one person was like, yeah, I'm going to get that doll instead of like victimizing a real child, then obviously that's way better.
So that'd be a good kink thing. Yeah, no. Well, see, the thing is that this is not an original idea. In some of the platforms that we're working in, to get a female performer, we have female performers that want to work with us.
We do, yeah.
Ex-girlfriends. But the thing is you got to pay them.
Yeah.
And then they got to go through the approval process.
And then they have to go through the approval process. And then it's kind of a pain.
And to fucking get a shoot together, man, is a big fucking thing. You got to plan the time.
And we kind of live away from a lot of... I mean, we live like out in Eustis, which is like 30 miles from downtown Orlando.
We want the ability to, at the drop of a hat, make a quick 10-minute video that can make money.
Right.
And the ones that involve dolls and fucking fake dicks, you guys notice, they make money. They make a lot of girls make those. And it's not just...
it's easier. You don't have, like I said, there's not a whole other person. You don't have to go through the whole other approval process. You don't have to pay another person. You don't have to like... And like I said, I'm not averse, like, because I know he wants me to do some shit with his ex-girlfriend, but...
No, it does that.
I do love her. I do. She's awesome.
The thing is that there's a certain kind of customer that wants a video with the girl in it. They don't want anybody else in it. They don't want another guy in it, any kind of competition. They want it to be a solo video.
Right.
But it can't look like a solo video. So the whole fucking doll thing, the whole fucking rubber dick thing, you guys know, they got guys that are just looking for that. They'll take a little bit of everything like a smorgasbord, but they might be in the mood for that.
Well, and the thing about it too is that even if we get the doll, we're gonna get like the female doll, but I also have like a strap-on.
Yeah, so you could just
thing too. So it's like we have other options. Right. So it's just kind of like, so we have like a lot of things that we could do with the videos, but it's just like I said, it's an easier way too because. Like I said, I don't know if you guys know, but doing these fucking videos, uploading them, it's a huge nightmare. Like, all of the people that are in them, like, you have to fill out all these forms, and you have to, like, take pictures of your driver's license, and all of this other kind of stuff.
Well, that's easy. Just take a picture of driver's shit, man. Most of the pictures get rejected because they say, it's not clear enough.
Yeah, I had that happen, like, a lot. Yeah, you just
taking a picture of a fucking ID, and then it finally goes, okay. And it's not a person, it's AI.
Yeah.
It's AI approving it all. And AI has certain standards about fucking how photo
So if we brought in a third person, like, it would be a huge fucking
We have...
issue.
It can sometimes be a problem of like if we were to make a video and we had that fucking paper Spock behind us, it would probably get rejected.
Yeah, we kind of worry about
because
that.
facial recognition would go, "Who's that? He's not approved."
And like I said before, like, and I mentioned this before, like, we're allowed to live stream together on what is it called? StreamMate. We can live stream together. I can't sell videos
with me in it. Yeah.
Of both of us.
Yeah.
Like, we can fuck all day long.
Yeah.
For paying customers on StreamMate.
Live. Yeah.
Live. Yeah. But I can't sell a video of it.
Right.
Who is this person?
Yeah.
Like, I can't do that. Many vids, we're both approved. Yeah. So I can upload videos with both of us on that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I get it. Like, it's a gray area of legality, and they're just worried and they're trying to cover their ass. I get it, but it is kind of a pain in the ass for like people wanting to do stuff. So if we do videos of both of us, I can only put them on ManyVids. I can't put them on streaming.
Tammy says, "Could you imagine if that doll body got delivered to a neighbor's house?"
I thought about that. I was like, did a neighbor get it? And they were just kind of like, I'm keeping this shit.
No, it never arrived here because it never showed the addresses of where it was being delivered or changed hands. It was never shipped.
The weird thing about it was that it was like, it came from China, and then it was just kind of like, shipped from China, and then there was like nothing, and then it was like delivered.
Yeah, but it was like 3 days later.
Like, normally if you got something from China, they'd be like, oh, it arrived in New Jersey or whatever, and then like it would...
Never said where it got delivered.
Right, it just said, oh, it was delivered. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
I think it was stolen.
And it was big.
It was either stolen or it was never shipped.
Or they just faked it.
They never shipped it, they faked it and
I don't
stole
think
the
they
money.
ever faked it. I mean, or they tried to, because you got the money back.
I got the money back.
You got the money back.
But who knows? That might have been a dummy account or something. They're stealing money from Amazon. You don't know. It might have been AI doing that.
Yeah, Lord knows. So it's like, I keep hoping that it'll still turn up.
It won't.
And it's like, hey, we got it for free.
No, if that shit showed up to a neighbor's, you don't know me. I'll walk right over there. Did you get my sex doll?
Yeah, Tom's not. He has no shame.
I don't give a fuck.
He's not embarrassed at all. I'm not embarrassed either.
No, I'd be like,
did you get a headless sex doll?
Yeah, me and my wife are making porn with
That's
this.
ours.
Yeah. Me and my wife are making porn with this. Y'all want to watch?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Your wife want to work? I'm fucking brutal.
Like, what's she look like?
Yeah.
Let's see her.
No, if she was standing there, you want a job? You can lick pussy? Okay.
We're kind of the worst.
It's gonna be good.
We're kind of the worst.
Yeah. We came up around freaks, man.
We're kind of the worst.
BDSM couples and shit. And
that's what I mean. It's like look, we have standards. We have shit like that.
Yeah, you got to be cute.
It's not. I mean, it's not just anything anywhere all the time. No. We do have like standards, but
you got to be cute and you got to be cool.
But we are like pretty open to shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're not embarrassed about stuff.
No.
Like, I'm not embarrassed about stuff.
The goth scene crosses over with the BDSM fetish scene.
Always has
done. The same people spend that way forever, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, even goths that aren't into that stuff.
We know all the people.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all right. No one's concerned about it. And no one has any... No one really has any weird hang-ups about it that I can think of.
The official gothic sexual orientation is fetish. That's the fucking sexual orientation of goth. Fetish, yeah.
I don't even know if like goths have a sexual orientation. They're just like whatever. It's whatever.
If it's fetish, it looks like BDSM. It has fucking crazy shit and crazy. Yeah, they're like, okay, yeah,
it's whatever.
That's
but see, okay, I will say though, having said that I kind of feel like that's why normie dudes hit on goth chicks at clubs all the time.
Yeah.
Because they think, oh, this chick is just open for anything. And that is not the case. That is not how that's going to go.
It's very harder to pick up goth girls. They're set on expert.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, goth girls are open to anything within that scene. If you're just some rando that comes up with your Crocs and your Izod shirt or whatever,
you're at the bottom of the
and
list.
Your cargo shorts,
yeah.
No one is going to entertain that.
Wouldn't be caught dead with you.
At all.
They can't be seen with you.
No.
Because you're just nowhere near nowhere near cool. Nowhere near.
No. So I kind of feel like there is like a fetishizing of goth girls by normie dudes.
Yeah, and this might be a goth chick that is in the sex industry, and she ain't gonna fuck with you.
No, absolutely not. No. Even like I said, even if she is poly, even if she does porn, even if she's still not gonna. She fuck
might
with
even
you.
be escorting.
Sure, she's still not fucking with you. Yeah. Still not. Wow. So, but like I said, I kind of feel like there is kind of that's a thing where like normie dudes fetishize goth girls because they think they're crazy, and it's like, oh, they'll do anything and they'll do all this crazy stuff, which like in a way that's true, but it's like not for you. Yeah. They won't do it for you though.
They're the hardest ones to hook up with.
They won't do it for you.
They're the hardest ones to hook up with.
Jeffy R says people approach you in Crocs. Ew.
You would be amazed at the misconceptions.
Honestly, you really would.
The only non-goths that I've seen that understood the scene immediately and didn't fuck with it were outlaw bikers.
Yeah, I've honestly never.
Warlocks came in
I have never had a problem with bikers.
The Warlocks came in to the club one time and saw this shit going on, and they immediately like, oh, okay. They didn't fuck with anybody. They were on.
They got it.
They had their fucking stripper girlfriends come in, had them on leashes, and
everybody's like, all right,
because a lot of them have stripper girlfriends, so they know how to have. Outlaw bikers, at least the Warlocks, knew how to handle themselves in a subculture because they're a subculture.
Yeah, and there's some overlap there too.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that, like I said, if you're like an outlaw biker, you bring your girlfriend in there that's like a stripper, and you're just like, hey, she's on a leash, I'm gonna put her up on the pole.
Yeah.
No one will bat an eye. Nope. And if you're not bothering anybody, the problem that we have is that when these people come in and start throwing their weight around and bothering people that don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Like, and
that was another thing. Outlaw bikers didn't ogle anybody.
They really
didn't eyeball or... No, they just immediately... Like, nothing's a big deal. They're already... Because they have high thresholds already anyway. They go to a biker event down at Sturgis, all kinds of wild shit's going on. So
sure.
They just...
Same thing.
They're like, oh, okay, yeah.
All right, so this is going on.
So it's this,
That's cool. Yeah. Cool. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's why they blend in.
Yeah.
And normie people do not.
Right. They have misunderstandings.
Yeah, they come in having all kind of misconceptions about how shit's gonna go. You know? The Phantom asks, do Tom and Jenny have normie friends?
Yeah. But not in the scene.
Not many.
Yeah, not many in the scene.
I will admit.
Yeah.
I can only think of maybe a couple.
Well, no,
not really that many though.
I go down to the biker bar and a lot of those people are normies. They're not really friends. They're just associates. You know what I mean? And you deal with regular people all the time. And it's not like I'm looking down their noses at you or anything. You know what I mean? You're just a regular person.
Right.
It becomes a problem when you're in a goth club. All right. And somebody who's not really aware of the scene comes in like a tourist, and they have misconceptions about what's happening in this club and who these people are. That's a problem.
I mean, I'm not averse to normies.
Yeah.
In general. Well, I don't know if that's true. But I'm just saying that in normal life, I'm not averse to normies. I'm nice to everybody. I try to be.
Yeah.
But the problem arises when you're at your event and some of these people come in and just be like, ooh, look at where I am. I'm like, I'm so crazy. I'm at this place. And it's like they're taking pictures. They're trying to take pictures of you. And it's just kind of like, hey, come dance with me. I'm just like, who the fuck are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not
on the dance floor.
I'm not a ride. What are you talking about?
Or they go out on the dance floor and try to dance, but they're dancing, making fun of the music and the people.
That too. Like, okay, that too. And you're just like, okay, we see how you are.
Or, dudes that come in there and try to just throw their weight around like, oh, these girls are all sluts. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this.
So I'm just gonna grab this girl's ass. Or
they got some fucking goth warriors in there, man. Some of these new guys.
You are gonna get your ass beat.
Yeah, there's two new goth dudes. One of them has got to be about 6'5". That dude fucking weighs probably close to 300, maybe 270, maybe. He's fucking big. And I don't think he's lifted a weight in his life. I wouldn't fuck with him. You know what I'm talking about. You saw them guys fucking at Mannequins last night? Or not last time we were there?
Yeah.
That dude was fucking big. And he was with another guy. They're young, too, man. They're maybe late 20s. And he had a buddy with him who was 6'1", who looked tiny next to him. Maybe 6 foot tall, looked tiny next to him. They got some big dudes there. And if you disrespected one of those women there, even those goth girls, even if they didn't know that girl, they'd stand up for her.
Yeah.
They'd be all over you.
Well, because goths are very protective
of each other.
Not just of of the scene in general.
Yeah.
So if you're fucking with somebody,
it's going to be a gang fight.
Then
it's going to be 20 of them.
Everybody's going to gang up on you, because even if they don't know that person that you're fucking with, they're like, yeah, nah, this is not cool. So it's just kind of like, that's going to happen.
Yeah, I've seen them chase jocks out of there and everything.
Oh, yeah, big time.
ones. Because a jock can't fight fucking 25 people. And half of them
girls.
If
everybody turns on you, which they will.
Yeah, and half of them are girls, and fucking, what, you going to beat up a girl? The girls like, fuck out of here. You know, they just treat you like shit. You know, get out of here. You know, they chase you.
Yeah, I mean, you come in there and, like, try to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to turn on you. Yeah. So it's like I said.
It's not like a normal scene where they're all individuals. They don't know each other or anything. No, man, all these people know each other, and they'll fucking turn on you if you're an outsider.
Yeah. And like I said, even if you don't know each other that well, because like I said, at Mannequins, some of those kids are like kids. Yeah. You know, I don't really know them that well. I've seen them around, but like I don't know their names or anything. But it's like, if somebody was fucking with me, they would, and if somebody was fucking with one of them, I would jump on whoever was fucking with them, because that's just what you do.
Yeah. And then they got people who are not goth but know what's going on, and then they want to try to get points. Like, Jen remembers it. I was beating that one dude in the side of the head, fucking like that, and fucking a lot of dudes ran up to try to help me beat the dude up. Remember that good? That you know, but we got separated. They fucking pulled him away from me.
Well, that's the thing too, is that.
And then the guy said, "I got your back, bro. I got your back." And I'm
that's what I mean.
Well, thanks. I don't know you, but you know, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, like, look, we have a lot of patience. We'll put up with a lot, because like. We all see it. Like, we're all out there dancing. It's the goth night or whatever. And here's these dumbasses out here. We're just all kind of looking at each other going, Jesus Christ, would these people leave? Please leave. You know what I mean? But it's like, we're not going to hit them or anything like that. But they overstep a boundary. If one person steps up and says something to them or hits them or something like that, then everybody's going to jump in and wail on that person. Yeah. Like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And in general, these are not fighters. Goths not fighters, but fucking they'll stand up for each other. And they got some.
Oh, I will absolutely. One of my
girls will fucking start swinging on you.
One of my favorite things to do is, if you're being really egregious, I'm gonna do some plausible deniability shit. I'm just gonna dance real big, and I'm just gonna like dance, elbow, knee, until you fucking get off the floor. Get off. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll do that, but I'm just like, what, man? I'm just dancing. I wasn't hitting you. You know what I mean? So I'll do that kind of stuff, unless you be really egregious, and then I'll just hit you in the face. But you know what I mean. I try to be like passive aggressive until it's time to be like actually aggressive.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too, a little bit. What time is it? Holy shit, it's 11:30.
Yeah.
What do you want to eat?
I got some of that stew, that
that was
Georgian
good.
Stew left over.
Oh my god, Tom made some Georgian, as in from Russian Georgia.
Yeah.
Like not Georgia from the United States.
Pork stew.
Some pork stew. Oh, it was really good. Really good.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called now. But it had all the spices and shit. So
it had a name.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was either.
It was good.
All right, so I guess we're going to wrap it up, because we've been on for like 4 hours.
Fuck, man.
Right? Have we? 4 hours and 2 minutes. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
All right. Well, we weren't going anywhere tonight. That's fine. All right, we're going to go eat some stew.
Yeah.
All right, so we will be back on Monday night, hopefully, doing a movie review. I don't know what movie it's going to be. We'll figure something out over the weekend. I have a bunch of suggestions, so we might watch one of those. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by this evening. Thanks for super chats and all of that. And we will see you guys again on Monday. Wait a minute. Phantom says, don't answer my question. Oh, Phantom said, whatever happened to that former employee chick that put shit in your food at former... Oh, that was like a long time ago. That was like back in the early... I started working there in the late 90s. And like I left in like 2002, I want to say. I don't even know what happened with that. I mean, I'm sure she's probably dead now. You know what I mean? To be honest, because it was so long ago. But it's just kind of like... I don't even know what happened with that, honestly. But she was like some weird fundamentalist or something, and she put like that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't eat any of the cookies. I didn't eat any of that. But she supposedly put shit in the cookies for whatever reason. But her and her husband were like super weirdos. But I don't even remember what happened with that, to be honest with you. It was a really long time ago. It was like more than 20 years ago. But yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap it up and go have some stew. So hopefully you guys have a good night tonight. Have a good weekend. We will see you guys again on Monday for a movie review. Don't know what movie it is yet, like I said, because we haven't watched it. But hopefully you guys can join us for that. We will see you again on Monday. Good night.